Welcome everybody back to Vampire the Masquerade, New York by Night. We will be continuing our game this evening. And as usual, to get the evening rolling, we're going to go around the clock and have everyone do just a short little introduction to their character. So first we will have Articus as Felix Cote.
Bonjour. I am Felix Cote, a wanderlust French Canadian Tremere who spent most of his company with spirits and trees and fairies and what have you not. But now he's spending most of his time with the books and learning what he can do. And he has this great kind of spell that he's been brewing. He discussed it with Kim. And he's going to see if he can maybe put an eye or two on a creepy crocodile in the sewer.
Alright, next we'll have Charutri DTY, or Chard as we know him, as Roland Jacobs.
Hello, my name is Henry Kemp, but please call me Roland. Back when I was able to run around during the day, I made a few enemies in the US government, and would enjoy it if they never heard my name again. I recently moved to New York to get in with the Camarilla to release my sire from a blood hunt, but I'm pushing that to the side to run my business, The Rebel Kiss, and raise my child Clementine. And if some Setites get pissed along the way, so be it.
Next we will have Zabani as Angel Vargas.
Hey, name's Angel. Well, it's Julio Angel Vargas, but most people would just call me Angel. And I am a Toreador. I know what you're thinking, he doesn't seem like a Toreador. Nah, not like a painter or a poet or some shit. But you get like a V8 on a 1966 Mark III Shelby AC Cobra cycling just right. Puts Led Zeppelin to shame, know what I'm saying? Anyway, after my time in the war, they even gave me my own shop, Celestial Customs. Though I have been spending a lot of time lately hunting down these werewolves that have been showing up in the city.
Next we'll have Modi Ansus as Nate Ward.
Hello, I am Nate Ward. I was born a Revenant and was raised by the Zamisi Elder I only knew as father. I felt nothing but hatred for that monster, and during the war, I saw my opportunity. I sought out the Camarilla and divulged all I knew about him, his home, his business, and those he associated with. As my reward, I was embraced by Claudia, the Brujah Primogen. Now, I seek to fight for this new life I've been granted, and live as I've never had a chance in life.
And next we will have Elvish Dame as Dr. Kim Brown.
Hello, I'm Dr. Kim Brown. I'm a Malkavian working as the medical examiner at the morgue in Mount Sinai Hospital. I currently prevent breakages of the Masquerade by altering the cause of death for cadavers that seem suspicious. At the moment, I am trying to gain some recognition in the Camarilla by attaching myself to as many different things as I possibly can, trying to learn where exactly this werewolf blood is coming from, where I tested it, and trying to also learn more about my more Malkavian side by talking to the mysterious elder named Lily.
And last but not least, we will have Kozark as Ike Rogers.
Hey, I'm Ike. I'm a 13-year-old venturer who's recently showed up in New York after wandering for a while. I've been hanging out with my new friend, Nate, staying at his place at the moment while I try to get on my feet and get to know everybody. And I famously don't like stealing drugs.
Alright, very good. So, last week we had Nate and Roland. Their drug deal kind of went differently than they were expecting. They thought maybe just one person was going to show up down an alleyway that they could mug or speak to or something like that, but it turned out instead to be a limo with two gentlemen who advised them that they would need to speak with their boss before any deal could move forward. And the two of them are now speeding along in Roland's car to go meet with said mysterious boss at a Setite domain. We have Kim, who was waiting in Claudia's apartment for Nate and Roland in case they needed to be patched up after the deal they were expecting. But while she was there, the Malkavian elder Lily showed up and has been having a little chat with our young doctor, older doctor, either way. Then we have Felix, who was doing some studying in the Chantry, but also began speaking with his liaison friend Jocelyn, who started telling him more about the city, about Brujah, different clans, things along those lines. And Felix also was able to study the ritual The Watcher in which he hopes to use to find out more about what's going on in the sewers. Angel had gone down to the sewers, well, not to the sewers, but to the Warrens, the Nosferatu Warrens, under the Cloisters Museum, to ask some questions, get some information about the two strange Toreadors who showed up at his shop not too long ago and put him a bit on edge. And I think that is everybody except Ike, who is with Claudia after they'd been watching for the drug deal to see if they could catch anything that they needed to help with. Looks like Char dropped for a second. He should be back in a moment. And so let's go with, to start, let's have Felix. So you are having a little chat with Jocelyn in the Chantry. Later that night you went back and continued your studies. You got a bunch of successes on trying to learn the Watcher ritual, so you think you actually have it down now.
I'm ready for it to blow up in my face.
Let me actually get that pulled up.
Oh, the ability, let me too.
Alright, so the Watcher ritual calls for the caster to, or the ritual calls for the caster a small rat, who will then go where the caster tells them to and look for whatever they instruct them to seek out. The rat will return, and by pressing heads to the caster will show the thaumaturs what they saw. So your idea is to call this rat and send them along into the sewers to try and search for anything that stands out. Are you going to go to anywhere in particular in the city?
Well, I was actually thinking of maybe calling Kim.
Okay.
And by that I mean having Jocelyn call Kim.
Okay. If that is your plan, let's maybe make sure we keep all this timely. So I think this is a little later in the night. So we'll... Yeah.
I do have one thing to ask Jocelyn.
Okay, sure. So you're still talking with Jocelyn. What did you want to ask her?
Jocelyn, do you have any alcohol?
Yeah, I got some, back in my own room here in the Chantry. What did she need?
I need about a thimble amount. Enough to give about an animal about this side a shot.
She shakes her head, smiling. Ritual, got it. Let me go see what I can find for you. And she sort of scurries off into the dormitory area of the inner Chantry. Leaves you waiting in the common area. So we'll get right back to you, following up with that. In the meantime, we'll go back to Kim, who's waiting in the apartment, or was, and Lily had shown up. Now, Lily had sort of been almost circling Kim, eyeing her up, and last we left them, she landed herself very close to Kim, understanding Kim's aversion to physical contact. So Lily doesn't get too close, but she's close enough to sort of create a sense of connection and closeness in their conversation. And I believe the last thing she had said to Kim was in a almost rhetorical question, asking her, so you wanted to learn more about the network and how all the little fiddly bits work inside our heads.
Little fiddly bits would not be the term I would use, but yes.
Crap. Lily's sheet is somewhere else. Oh well, I think I remember it all. So, Lily, as usual, has her nice big smile going. And sorry, I was double checking something. Alright, so she makes even one more kind of baby step towards Kim, just closing in that gap as much as she can without actually touching the doctor. And then all of a sudden, what Kim would feel is this complete wash of almost like a radiant aura coming off of Lily that makes her feel completely in trust and comfortable with the kindred in front of her. She would listen to anything she says, possibly even go along with anything she suggests, and just full body starts to relax. If you want to fight this, you can make a courage roll against...
Okay. Straight courage or courage plus anything?
No, it's just a courage roll, and it's going to be against 10. Yeah, it's actually a 10 difficulty.
Jesus.
My bad.
All right, here goes 3 dice. Oh no! So close!
It was actually really
8,
close.
a 1, and a 10! Oh my god! Are you kidding me?
Alright, so you are unable to resist what she is sort of this feeling that she's putting out towards you. For system's sake, it is actually level 5 presence. She's using Majesty, so you're basically in her thrall, not in a, cruel way. It's presence, so it's much like that awe feeling of you just, everything about her is just perfect. Is that you acting?
Yes.
Alright, good. Just wanted to make sure. So she actually then reaches out with both of her hands and cups your cheeks, but it doesn't bother you.
Fuck.
So she leans even closer and then starts to pull up slightly, or she takes her one hand back and starts pulling up slightly on her bandana.
On what?
On her blindfold?
Oh, on her blindfold,
yeah,
okay.
Sorry, on her blindfold that's across her eyes. So as she starts to do this, you see it actually looks almost like an iridescent glow is coming out from underneath as she starts pulling it up. And after she finally pulls it up just a bit on her forehead, it's almost like still halfway covering her eyes. You see that her eyes are actually an iridescent green, like it's shining. And the iris actually sort of like swirls like mist.
Huh.
So as you see into her eyes, you sort of go into a bit of a trance, and you start hearing voices and seeing things. Nothing's very clear, but you just start to get this like overwhelming sense of walking around through like almost a different plane.
Okay.
So after a little while of this experience, she actually quickly tucks the bandana or the blindfold back over her eyes and releases you from the Majesty and steps back smiling, like she does.
What was that?
Was it a problem?
Ah! I don't know.
Well, I just gave you a bit of a glimpse into the way it works, especially for me at least.
Okay. Sure. Yes. Very, good demonstration. Yes.
Well, let's see. Yes, I think that's a good first lesson.
What did I learn?
Lily gives a big shrug. You'll have to tell me.
Where was I?
You were walking the web, seeing things that some of us refer to as insight. All depends on what you saw.
Nothing in particular, just it's very different craze and I don't know.
Give it time. Sometimes it takes a little while to sink in. In any case, I think I should get going. She actually looks meaningfully at the door and sort of glances toward the window. Or actually, no, there's no window. She glances towards the door and starts sort of just walking backwards.
Okay.
Well, try and give a call if you need me. And she opens
Wait, no, how do I call you?
You'll figure it out. And she opens the door and starts to leave.
Huh. I'm gonna have to tell the Bruja Primogen she can't live in her apartment anymore. This is gonna be great. This is just gonna be fantastic, Kim. Good job. And she kind of just goes and sits on the couch and stares at nothing for a while.
So, we're going to check back in real quick with Ike and Claudia, who, after Nate and Roland decided to head off to the Set-Tight domain, the two of them were left watching their car drive off and are left standing on the street. Claudia is a little bit beside herself, just sort of, she's got her hand here and just ticking her thumb, just thinking, and doesn't seem to, make an immediate move in any direction.
Claudia, should we maybe head home? Kim's still there.
Claudia nods slightly. Yes, no, we should go and give her a reprieve if she's not potentially needed tonight. Claudia just shakes her head, sort of getting the cobwebs loose, and starts walking down the street, heading towards the apartment. Is Ike following along?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna follow her back towards the apartment.
Okay, so as the two of you sort of start walking along, she slows down and seems to eventually get out of her own head and looks over to Ike and says, I think I might have said it before, but I actually commend the fact that you refused to deal with any of the stealing business to begin with.
Oh, I'd hate to sound like I'm some sort of moral pillar. I just don't do stealing. I think it's a little, especially drugs. I just find it dirty.
Fair enough.
I mean, I think that went about as well as we could have hoped, right?
We'll have to see. They're walking into Set-Tight domain. I haven't even really dealt with them much myself. I don't know exactly what they should expect or what's going to happen, but Nate's shown himself to be relatively cool-headed in the right circumstances.
Yeah, I've seen him lose his cool maybe once or twice, but he's cool. He'll be alright, I think.
Claudia laughs a little bit. It comes with the territory of being Bruja most of the time.
Yeah, I've noticed that. He definitely, very respectful gentleman, he seems to be.
I would think so.
Hey, do you mind if I ask you a quick question?
So Claudia was walking at an even pace, but she actually, slows down a little bit to, allow for the conversation to flow. And of course, what is it?
Well, you guys got a few questions in on me, which makes sense, and I know I'm the one burdening you guys. So yeah, I get that, but I was wondering if is it too personal to ask? Were you involved in the war here?
Claudia lets out almost too sudden a laugh and yes, no, I was certainly involved in the war. I was very involved in the war. Why do you ask?
Well, I think I told you my sire kind of disappeared on me. And I was just wondering, he might have shown up in a kind of war like that, with, big stakes. So I was just wondering if I could ask you a couple questions.
Of course I can. I did get to know a majority of the faces involved, especially if they had special tasks. I was helping with those organizations. What can you tell me, or what do you have in mind?
Well, I know my sire was involved with he was like obsessed with hunting someone, one of the Sabbat people, and I don't have much, but he did disappear around the time he was like he thought he was getting close to this guy, but it was earlier than the war, but you know, you never know how it might be related.
Of course. Any more details than that?
Well, the guy he was hunting, the Sabbat guy, I think his name was Karen Stark.
So as Claudia is continuing to walk slowly down the street, heading back towards the apartment, she shakes her head. The Sabat was his name?
Yeah, that's the guy he kind of missing, looking for.
Well, I learned some of the names of the Sabat during the war, particularly, you know, Archbishop Polonia and some of the higher pack priests, ones we were targeting specifically, but I'm afraid that name doesn't sound familiar.
Okay, I figured I'd ask if maybe, you know, he had shown up.
I'm afraid I don't know anything about it. Is there anything else you know or can give me? And just that name's nothing really special.
Yeah, just he was. I don't know. My sire didn't talk to me too much about it, other than he was like really obsessed with this guy.
Okay. So he was hunting this one specifically.
It sounded like it. They're trying to track him down. He said he was hard to find for some reason, and I guess got lost trying to find him, or caught, or something. He did. He literally just left one day, and didn't come back.
Well, what was your sire's name? Maybe if I recognize him from the war, that could give me something else to go off of.
I'll have to think about if I can remember anything else that might have been involved. I just figured, you know, so just ask.
If you could tell me your sire's name, perhaps I could help you from that point of view.
Oh, he wasn't from really around. Like I said, it was a long time ago, but he was. It was Frank Miller, but he was really a lot further out west with me. He didn't show up so much around New York. Like I said, it really was the first time I've ever been here.
Momentary pause while I do a roll.
Oh no!
So, Claudia sort of, in a quick sidestep, steps in front of Ike and says, I believe this may be the second or third time you've attempted to answer me something truthful about yourself, and I know that you're being misleading one way or another. If you want my help, if you even want to stay around here, I need you to be forward with me.
Ike's gonna sit there, sort of quietly contemplating. I have a healthy amount of distrust and want to be careful about what I say. I'm not trying to mislead you too much. I just obviously don't want to give all the details, which apparently you can tell.
sort of takes in a breath and sighs a bit. We should get back to Kim. And she just turns and starts walking forward.
Okay, I'm gonna follow her and just stay quiet for a little until we get to the house.
Alright, real quick, just want to make sure everybody gets a little bit of time during the first hour. Let's check in on Angel, who is in the Nosferatu Warrens, waiting on someone to get back to him with some information. So
Hey,
last you were in the Warrens, you had met Gerard, who introduced himself, also known as Uncle Smelly, and he had made a bit of a show of himself before running off to send along your request and get the information back for you. While you were waiting around for the information, you met Crid, another Nosferatu, although as far as you can guess, there's something different about him because while he's still butt ugly for a human, he actually didn't seem to have as far advanced the, disfigurement that most Nosferatu had. He even had told you that he is usually the sort of the runner for the Nosferatu up on the surface. He can usually get around, even though people don't necessarily like looking at him too much. And he had mentioned, if you ever had any small jobs or anything like that, he would be happy to help. But as you're, waiting and talking a bit more with Crid, Gerard, who had returned to the alcove in the Warrens and had been working on something at a desk, sort of just shouts out, "Hey, Brooklyn!"
Sweet. Oh, yo, what's up?
I have your information if you want to come here. Sorry, I went
get
Russian.
Up and head over
Too much
nodding
Russian
and
practice.
Crid on the way.
What was that about Crid?
I'll give him a quick, polite nod as I head towards Old Stinky.
Alright, so Gerard is still at the desk that he'd been standing at. There's a bunch of papers strewn out and some pens and some other little bits, but he has out a large smartphone that he is with one of his gnarly Nosferatu fingers, just sort of scrolling up and down a bit and reading some information, just waiting for you to come closer.
Okay.
So after Angel walks up to him, he looks over his shoulder. I think I have some bad news for you.
Okay.
Well, you said it was a Sean Packer and a Noel, and what was the Madeline Aldridge? It looks like, as far as we could tell going into Chicago's information, there are plenty of, there are some humans with similar names, but we're unable to find anything in the kindred that have any sort of similar name. There's a Noel, but there's no Sean Packer, there's no Marilyn Aldridge. At least as far as we can find. If they're not a part of our system, that might be one thing, but you said that she was a close friend of your sire, so that is interesting.
And my sire is not exactly the kind that's gonna go around lying.
Who is your sire again?
Oh my god, I'm terrible. I've forgotten her last name.
Agnes... Oh crap, I did too. It was Rutherford. Agnes.
Oh yeah, Agnes. Agnes Rutherford lives over on 2nd Street or wherever it is she actually lives.
So he nods along. The Toreador, the one that's good with gardening, yes.
Yeah, that's not...
Right, well, so, I can continue digging around. Perhaps there's kindred in another city and they misunderstood when they said that they were from Chicago, but I don't have anything for them in Chicago.
Alright, well, much appreciated.
Yes, of course. Well, the thing is, and he sort of puts a hand up to stop you, I asked for a car to be fixed up. I am a Nosferatu of good standing. I don't think this little bit of worthless information is worth that whole deal. So if there is anything more you could have us look into, I will continue digging about these three, as I said, but in the meantime, I would like our deal to be fair.
I'll keep it in mind. I'm mostly focused on them.
Fair enough. I will be in contact with you in the future if I can find any more.
Much appreciated. I need like give you my number or something.
Not necessary.
All right. Well, thank you.
So he just nods as you begin to leave.
All right. I'll actually before I head out, I'm gonna stop by crib.
Okay.
And say, hey, if I need to get in contact with you, how do I do it?
So he pulls out a little like reporter's notebook. It's like, you know, pretty ratty and pages are bent, and he pulls out ink pen and he just flips it over and scribbles out a phone number and just puts a K underneath it, rips it out and hands it to you. Trust me, we got our system set up good. I can hear from you wherever you call me.
Got you.
Is this about something in particular?
Yeah, but they didn't seem to have much information on it. But I got some ideas. Just give me a little time.
Sure thing. Just get a hold of me. I'm always available for quick runs.
Got you.
All right.
And then I'll head out.
Okay. And what is Angel up to after getting this information?
I'm fairly certain I just want to go home and like kind of brood a little bit.
Just be angry in the shop.
Yes, that's exactly what I want to do.
Alright, so you head back to the shop. We had done a little bit of downtime play where your two ghouls, Melissa and Joey, had told you or sent you a message saying that they had a pretty big deal fall into their lap. A customer with at least 2 big cars they want, you know, refurbished and done up. But they didn't give you any more details. Sort of just, you know, we'll talk to you when you get back.
All right, then I'll stop by them.
Alright, so stopping into the front office of your shop. I didn't get to load up, you know, your nice little sort of layout, but if you want to, you know, explain the way your shop is laid out a bit.
Yeah. So I have the front door of my shop is like big and glass and like, you know, giant glass windows. It's got a couple of show cars, one that's fairly new and one that's fairly like classic. Big desk in the middle, like, or not in the middle, like up against the back wall, leads into a garage that's mostly parking. Like all the cars that I work with are stored inside of a building. I'm not gonna let them sit outside.
Okay, so you walk in and you see Melissa's like behind the desk and just like leaning over. She's sort of like just texting a bit on her phone. There's a customer or two, you know, in the sort of like waiting area, and the other workers are just being busy.
Yeah. Hey Mel, how's it hanging?
It's good, Angel. You get our text?
Yes, I did.
You're not gonna believe this one. So she reaches down into a drawer and pulls out basically like a receipt and sort of like flips it around to you and taps her finger on the last name part that says Giovanni.
Huh. All right.
So she's just like, she's still like leaning over the desk, like, and she's just got her cell phone in her hand. She's just sort of like still like tapping away at it and like just sort of smiling at you. What do you think?
I mean, you know, money's money, and I'll kind of lean a little bit closer and say, besides, it can't hurt to keep an eye on him.
Yeah, no, I can see a couple different things coming good out of it. First name's Donatello, I think. I mean, I don't know as much about this shit as you do, but I think he might be one of the big dogs around there.
Yeah, that's interesting news. I kind of got to think about that.
He's got 2 refurbishes he wants.
Yeah, can do.
So I don't know cars all that well, but he's got like 2 much older cars, like 1950s. That the notes in the contract, you know, explain that, you know, he got them at a sale. They're in okay condition, but they definitely need to be fixed up, repainted, everything like that.
All right.
And so she also, you know, flips over a page. She's like, that's the phone number, at least the one he gave me. I don't know if it's him or secretary or anything, but if you want to give him a call.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna think about it for a minute.
Yeah, of course. All right, well, I'll let you think about that for a minute. Well, we're gonna hop back over to Felix for his phone call, and then we will see what Roland and Shard or Roland and Nate are up to. So, Felix, you had asked Jocelyn again for her cell phone because you wanted to call Kim.
Yes.
And this was later into the night, so this would be about the time that Lily had left, but before Claudia and Ike got back.
How late?
It's 1 o'clock. Middle of the night, not very, very late.
Okay. Now he knows that the Watcher ability only works that same night.
What was that?
The Watcher ability only works on the same night.
Yes, you would have to send the rat and have that, sorted out. I mean, you could do it multiple times. If you send him in one part of the sewer and it doesn't work, you can try again another night with a different area. I mean, it's all of Manhattan, there's a lot of sewers.
I don't get it. Jocelyn gets back.
What was that?
Jocelyn gets back.
Oh, yeah, so she returns, she has a bottle of vodka. It's got this little bit at the bottom. It's just rot gut stuff. I only keep it around for rituals myself, and she hands it over to you. Feel free to use whatever you need. Yeah.
Thank you. Also, could I ask you to help me with the cellular device?
She has a really big grin on her face because she kind of thinks it's cute how bad you are with it. So she pulls it out of her pocket again, and without even trying to have you do it, she just flips it over, slides it open and says, "What's the phone number?"
Dr. Kim.
Over at which hospital?
The close one.
Mount Sinai? Oh, okay. I think I know who that is. And she goes through a long list of contacts. You just see her scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. So, that should be it. So she clicks it and just hands it over to you.
Right. While she was doing that, he's looking over and okay. Ring, ring, ring. You didn't click. You weren't holding your mic.
Hello?
Hello? This is Felix.
Oh, of course. What did you need?
Oh, I was going to do the planned thing with the sewer.
Oh, yes. Sure. Okay, good. Are you doing that now, or what did you need?
Oh, I mean, I haven't left yet. I was going to invite you along if you wanted.
Sure. I need to talk to someone, and then I can be right over.
Sure.
Well, where should I meet you?
A sewer drain. I'll figure that out. I need a map.
Huh?
How do you turn this on?
Do you have a smartphone? Do you have a smartphone in your hand?
Do I have a smartphone?
Jocelyn just nods at you.
Yes. I am being told yes.
Open the Maps tab.
Open the Maps tab.
So Jocelyn takes it back from you and, actually goes into her apps and pulls up the map and sort of just shows it to you. You can still hear Kim speaking while she has it, in your face.
I think we're pulling it up. She's clicking buttons.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks like a map.
Look at the picture and then find where it is, and then send me what it says that it is.
Which part of the map is the sewers?
Jocelyn actually, it's like her eyebrows just kind of like, Felix, what are you looking for?
Sewers? Probably away from people.
And she actually puts the phone up to like her ear. Hi, this is Jocelyn.
Oh,
friend of
hello.
Felix's.
Yes.
Hi, nice to meet you. I will help this poor fellow out, figure where he wants to meet you, and then I'll text you.
Thank you.
In the background. Why is it complicated? Why can't I just put up the sewers?
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. We'll be back to you in a little bit.
Okay.
And so Jocelyn will like almost like with a little kid, like Felix, let's go sit down, and she'll like help him sort out exactly what it is he's looking for. But she'll find him a spot with like a sewer grate that's more in a like quieter part of the neighborhood, especially like nearby, since the hospital and the chantry are like adjacent. So she just figured something like that would help. Alright, we will now check in with Nate and Roland, who have been traveling all this time, heading towards a location they were given in northern, or, upper Manhattan, heading towards the bridge that leads to the Bronx. And they were, actually no, it's in the Bronx proper, but just after the bridge. It's a nicer area, a little bit of a ritzier neighborhood. And as you arrive, do any more chat before you arrive?
Not on Roland's part, unless Nate wants to initiate.
No, I think we've said plenty about the situation at this point.
For sure.
Okay. So as you arrive, you actually see it's where you park, and you even see the limo in a longer driveway. It's covered, like the sort of front yard. There's a long, like, winding brick path that actually leads to the front door, and the front yard has a large number of trees that have very, like, long overhanging branches. There are very small little lights in the ground along the pathway, but otherwise it looks very dark and seems very divorced from the otherwise, lights of the street nearby. You do actually see the two gentlemen who had been in the limo standing just sort of like leaning against the side of the limo, just sort of waiting.
Just to clear up any miscommunications, nothing I do. I won't be doing anything here. I think we should just be courteous, get through this as quick as we can, and maybe do something afterwards.
I'm in complete agreement with that.
Perfect. And Roland will open up his door and step out.
And Nate, in disguised as Greg, will follow suit.
As you guys step out, the two gentlemen who had met you before, leaning against the limo, sort of stand to attendance and actually just start walking towards the front door. Not too fast, but in a manner that suggests they're leading you along.
I'll follow.
And as you reach the door, they open it for you. And your initial... What you would initially see is that it is very dark inside. Almost no clear sense of lighting.
I'm going to turn on my Auspex vision just to help out.
Okay.
I'll give Greg kind of like how so there's no light, so obviously
there's
humans,
light, but
like,
it looks really, really dark. It's very dim. It's there, even like the bit of furniture you can see from just the way when they first open the door is a little more shadowed.
So like we can see in there, like
You
nothing's
can
gonna be able to
see in.
sneak up
It's
on
just
us.
no. It's not so much that someone could be like hiding in the corner. It's just it is very dark.
Cool. I'll head in.
So, as you first walk in, there's a small foyer. Again, there's not much you can see. It's just like, some plants and small furniture. But as you walk through a very large domed entranceway, you walk into a large sort of living area. But you actually see a number of women and men walking around kind of in half dress. You can see a couple sitting areas with large hookahs. There is just, a couple women standing around with oversized like wine glasses. The walls are decorated in somewhat occultic imagery, but I'm going to say nothing either of you would really recognize. Additionally, all the furniture and these symbols, everything that's on the walls, is oddly symmetrical. There's a very clear design to the place. And as you've walked in, the two gentlemen, close the door behind and stand behind you. No aggressive tone or attitude to their body movements. They're simply, bouncers or guards of the area. But you actually see a couple of the women and men really start eyeing you two up and maybe even start walking closer towards you. The place, again, as I said, is lit very dimly. There's some sconces on the wall, but they are turned down very low.
If Char's paying attention at all, Nate will kind of be flexing and flexing his fingers, obviously more than a little uncomfortable with the scenario.
Roland will do his best to just relax and seem like this is like there's no problem at all, and we'll wait until someone comes up to him and tells him what to do.
So the two men behind you sort of like move around to your sides and nod you and say, if you'll follow us, we'll take you to Dominic. And so like one girl actually, walks by and just very like lightly runs her fingers across Gregory's arm. And similarly, a girl sort of like stops and does that like sort of really like close pass behind Roland. But they kind of like just continue on their way, don't really stop you. If you follow the two gentlemen from the limo, they lead you to a staircase that's behind a wall, so it like kind of goes around, and it has a like step flights up to the second floor of the building. This room is very similar to the last. There's just men and women sort of wandering, almost dazed like. They're just some of them look like they might be under the influence, but there are still more decorations and occultic symbols, metal work and things like that throughout the room that you don't recognize but have all been placed in a seemingly very designed manner. A lot of it does involve some snakes, and at best some stuff that looks Egyptian, but nothing you could like recall from academics or occult.
Do the people in the house seem more lively, or are they kindred looking?
As far as you noticed, especially like the two women that passed by you a lot closer, they definitely came off a bit more warm to the touch, so they definitely seem like they are human, maybe ghouls.
Awesome.
So at the end of the room, sitting in almost like a throne-style chair with one woman, knelt down next to him, and a young man standing next to him, still all in half-dress. The young man has more of a dusky, darker skin tone, and the young woman is more of a lighter skin redhead. You see a man sitting there. He has a very high appearance. He's quite striking, but he's a white man with like red hair and like speckled bit of freckles across his face, just wearing a nice dark top and jeans. Kept forgetting to pull up pictures before, trying to remember.
Yeah, are we like just stop standing in front of him kind of a thing?
Yes,
or...
no, the two like led you into the room, and they just stopped themselves. So Dominic, as they mentioned his name, is sort of sitting in his chair just like this, and leaning forward and smirking slightly.
I'm assuming you're the man to speak to.
Your name would be Roland?
Yes, Roland Jacobs.
So he, does this, offering you to come closer. And who's your friend here?
My name's Greg.
It's good to meet both of you. Please, come in.
I'll take some steps forward.
The man and woman that were knelt and leaning close to him sort of take off, again still in this sort of dazed, slight, slow walk, and he actually, as you get closer, stands and reaches out his hand to shake yours.
I will firm handshake it.
And then he moves to shake Nate's hand, or Greg's.
Greg will hesitate for a moment and kind of thinking it over, but then eventually holds his hand out and returns the handshake.
Gentlemen, can I get you any refreshments while you're here?
What do you have?
Well, what would you like in it? And he sort of nods over at the young redhead who had been kneeling beside him, and she goes off into a nice, not a dresser, but like the kind of a bureau that a wardrobe that opens up, and you can see inside of it all kinds of little shelves and different compartments and things like that. And she just stands there, sort of seductively with the two doors of the wardrobe open, looking back, waiting for, what she's told to get.
I'll walk up to it, and if you could just tell me what I see from my character's knowledge, what he would see.
It's a very nice wardrobe, like I said, filled with shelves and a lot of drawers. So just looking at it, it's just lacquered wood, but she actually just starts to pull things out a little bit so you can peek inside, and one you see some powdered materials, and another you see a very nice it's organized set of syringes, and then another one there's some tablets, and then she opens a smaller little compartment inside that's got a carafe filled with a very dark liquid that by smell you already know is blood.
Roland will grab the one of the white powder bags. This will do.
So he nods and says, "Girl or boy?"
A woman, please.
So he snaps a finger, and one young, dusky woman with vivacious curves gets up from one of the other hookah circles that were up on the second floor. She walks over and takes the bag out of your hand and walks over to a bit of a marble countertop that's nearby and starts getting ready to take it. So Dominic looks over at Greg. Anything for you?
No, thank you. I had a big breakfast. Thank you, though.
Are you sure? Not even a drink? I've got some of the best vitae around.
Ugh, no, I'm sure I would burst if I drank anymore.
I suppose. And he actually sort of sits down, and he's a bit more leisurely in his seat. The young woman And he smiles at Roland and says, "Her name's Tessa, if it matters." And yeah, sorry.
It does. He didn't tell us his name, right?
The two that walked you up there said, "We're gonna take you to Dominic."
Gotcha. Her name does not matter, but yours does.
Dominic Ward. Roland Jacobs.
Pleasure to meet you, Dominic. Now, I heard you needed to have a couple words with us before we continue with business.
Yes, of course. My two associates here informed me that you were looking for 3 keys. That's quite a lot for someone I haven't heard of before.
Back in my day, it wasn't much, but yes, I guess for someone you haven't heard of, it might seem like a lot.
Fair enough. New to the city then.
Coming back, actually, yes.
Understood. And the young girl, goes and rips her line, throws her head back. She's long black hair, so it does like a nice swish. And she turns around and actually leans her elbows on the countertop, just waiting. Let's go back to Nate and Roland then for a little bit longer in this scene, and then we will check back in with other people. But at the moment, so Dominic's one blood doll, herd member, whatever she is exactly, has just done a line of coke for Roland to partake in, if he is so interested.
Yep. Bite it, and I drink it.
Alright, how much are you gonna take?
I forget the levels of what's dangerous for them, how many points I can
2
take.
is safe enough. They'll be weaker, but 2 would definitely be fine. If it's a ghoul, probably even take extra, but you don't know for sure.
Yeah, let's go 2. Let's just fill up my blood points.
Okay, so you take 2 blood points out of the young lady, and you get the delicious rush of cocaine running through your veins, as it were. Tiny bit dull because you're kindred and it's not the same as for a human, but it's the effect is definitely there and clear. The girl, slumps a little bit, but holds herself up enough to walk back to one of the pillow piles, off in the corner of the room, and just sort of lays herself down and relaxes.
I'll walk back next to Gregory and stand for audience.
So Dominic looks very amused that you actually partook, and gives a sort of side glance at Gregory, but then back towards Roland. So, 3 keys, and I believe you offered about 30k for such?
That was the going price in my day. I hope it's about the same now.
It's fair enough. I have a couple questions in particular. Where are you thinking of making your territory?
I know they usually stay out of Camarilla territory,
They're
right? They
mainly
have a
Bronx and that upper area in Manhattan where you originally went to that big black building.
And is the Bronx considered their area, or is that considered Camarilla?
It's mixed. So there's not enough Setite to own the whole area, but especially where he is and where their temple would be. So blocks around there, or maybe certain specific streets that they've taken to be theirs, will be Setite territory. But otherwise, it's not all of the Bronx.
Nowhere near your black house. It seems like you have quite the lockdown on that area. It'll be throughout the city in uncontrolled or lightly controlled areas. I wouldn't want to step on your feet.
Manhattan, you mean?
Yes.
So lower Manhattan.
Yes.
Fair enough. We don't do too much further down there. We do a little bit of work in Brooklyn, and of course Queens, better areas for that sort of thing, especially the ones that can't afford the Top dollar. So, you, let's see. I don't know you. I don't know your reputation, besides what you've told me. You seem on the up and up, but that doesn't always mean anything. Do you have the money on you?
On me here.
Yes, I heard that you wanted to make the deal this evening.
What was his name? Dominic?
Yeah, you can call him Dom if you want. Depends on how he'll respond.
Even Greg at this point is giving Dom a questioning look.
So he catches that out of Greg's face. Is there something wrong?
I hope you would give us the same level of respect. We obviously didn't bring it with us. We had no idea what was going to happen. We had hoped for the best, but you have to give us that amount of...
No, of course. It was just expressed to me that you were hoping to finish the deal this evening. I'm fine with us resetting time for this. As my associates here made clear, as I wanted to meet the two of you first before we made any deal.
Of course, and we understand. It was just, I wasn't going to meet somebody with $30,000 in hand for the first time without having a guarantee of me getting what I needed. So I'm happy that you called us here to meet you. I feel much more comfortable with the situation.
He chuckles a little bit. Of course, understandable. Well, is there any other business to be taken care of here, or shall we set up our official drop?
Are you okay with doing it tonight, or do we need to reschedule for another night?
He looks at the two men that are like still standing behind you and says, "No, I believe I can get you your keys this evening, and as long as you have the money."
That I do. But I don't know. So with lying, do I need to do like a lie roll kind of a thing, or is it fine with just me saying that, and then we'll, if he tries to check, we'll do opposing rolls?
Yeah, I usually make opposing rolls happen if I feel that he's going to check, and actually he would, so let me get his sheet up. And I still have that on my other laptop as well. I think I remember what it was.
All right, Modi, let's hope I hit this roll.
I'm praying, man.
If not, I mean, they didn't check any weapons at the door, which is dumb on their part. 'Cause we can axe our way out of this, no problem.
I mean, they wouldn't find mine anyway, so...
Rough.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
4 successes.
You got this, man. You got this.
What do I roll for lie?
Charisma and subterfuge if you're trying to lie.
Is it not manipulation?
Okay, yeah, it could be manipulation. It's either one. Charisma would be more trying to be charming in a lie. Manipulation is trying to come off as, more genuine. I'm fine with either, whatever works better for you.
All right. What's my target?
Oh, 6.
That's difficult.
That is difficult. I have no subterfuge.
So, Dominic doesn't say anything more. He just stands, and you see like a little like half hand wave towards the redhead that is still standing by the wardrobe, and she goes ahead and takes 3 nice like crystal glasses that were in there and starts pouring from the carafe and brings them over. He takes one of them and she holds them out for Roland and Greg. I insist on a small toast.
I'll take the glass and look at Greg.
Now, just from here, looking at it, smelling it, do I notice anything's off? Like, is it potentially kindred blood in there? Something?
Yes, you do notice that it seems a little darker than human blood, but I would actually like you to make a willpower roll because the scent is actually kind of intoxicating.
So just normal difficulty 6?
Mm-hmm.
So no Bruhaness here.
Woo! Ooh, baby.
I'd like
5
to
successes.
thank the shield of paranoia that I have up right now.
Very nice. Same for Roland, though.
Oh, wait, what am I rolling?
Willpower against 6.
Oh, there it is. Okay. One success.
Alright, it's enough to pass, though, so, you were both handed the glasses, but your willpower overrides, you know, the intoxicating smell of it, so, but, yeah, you have this, you know, dealer who is sort of insisting on it as a cheers to a good arrangement.
I'm still looking at Greg to be like, Roland doesn't know enough about like the world of what's dangerous and what's not, so I'm looking at him to be like, is this okay?
Nate looks at Dominic and brushes, you know, kind of waves his hand, kind of dismissing the drink. I've again, I mean, absolutely no respect or no disrespect in this, but I've drinking something something offered by a stranger before and woken up in a ditch. Only needs to happen once before you start having a healthy distrust of anything that didn't come from your own herd.
Is Roland gonna join in, or just...
Roland will see what that guy's answer to Nate or Gregory's stances.
He gives a pretty genuine grin and gives a slight like head nod to the lovely redhead who takes both the glasses back. He's still holding on to his though, and says, "I can respect that. Well then," and he sort of does this and downs the glass himself. I will have you give your contact information to Jeremy over here, and he points to one of the limo drivers, the white guy with the short brown hair, and we will arrange our drop for later this evening.
Perfect, and it was a pleasure meeting you, Dominic.
It was a pleasure meeting you as well, Roland and Gregory. Have a pleasant evening.
Evening. And he'll just nod.
I'll boot, scoot, and boogie out of there.
All right. Let's go back to Ike and Claudia, who are had been heading back to the apartment. There was a bit of a snafu where Claudia was once again kind of upset with feeling like Ike was being particularly non-forward with some information, and just started walking off a little ahead of him. So unless Ike has anything else he wants to say or do, they would arrive at the apartment, and Claudia would just go ahead and open the door. Kim's sitting at the couch, right? Okay.
Yes.
So as she walks in, she takes a look at Kim and sees like her wide-eyed, you know, just sort of lost in thought look, and sort of Claudia will stop almost instantly. Kim, is everything all right?
What? Oh, yes.
So she heads over and sort of stands opposite you, like from across her coffee table. You look concerned. Did something happen while we were gone?
Ah! I apologize. Yes. The... Did Nate mention when we went into Central Park the other day?
Yes, you met someone in the woods, and then you left quickly because you thought you had heard something. Possibly werewolves or something else even.
Yes, well, we met someone named Lily, who I believe is a Malkavian elder, and she just showed up at your house here wanting to talk to me. So if you need to move, I will compensate you for that, and I am sorry.
Hold on. While we were gone?
Yes.
And she looks over at Ike, confused for a second, then back to Kim's. Did you tell her you were going to be here?
No. I didn't tell her anything.
Okay. And Claudia will just sit down, starting to look more and more exhausted with the night's events.
I'm very...
No, Kim. It's fine. Just, can you tell me what she wanted? Why was she here? What did she say?
She knocked the tune of "Oh Danny Boy" on the door, and then the walls, and then decided that she wanted to speak to me. And she looks kind of ashamed and like runs her hand over her face and then like straightens her glasses out. It's like, she wanted to speak to me essentially about what it means to be a Malkavian.
And Claudia just looks over at Ike, just sort of not sure what to make of any of this.
And so if she was here, I don't think she has any particular interest with you, but I also don't blame you if you don't particularly feel safe, and I do have some funds, and because
Kim,
it was
please.
my fault I was here,
It's all right. I am, of course, concerned about who this individual is, and why it's not, if they don't see, do they seem of any sort of aggressive nature or threatening to you?
I like Lily, but everyone else didn't seem to enjoy her.
So Claudia looks over as you say that, and just still eyebrows just furrowed.
She seems to have taken a particular interest in me, and I don't mind trying to learn from her either. However, I never meant to include your life in this, so I apologize.
It's fine. Of course, I'm now a bit concerned. I might up my security, I suppose, but other than that, for now, there's I'm not moving tonight anyway.
Yes, well, if you need assistance and you feel like you do need to leave, I can compensate you for some of that. I apologize.
Please, Kim, let it be.
I
If
mean, she
anything
hangs out
is-
with with werewolves lives, I guess, in the middle of the park. I don't really know if we're going to be able to get away from her.
I'm not, but I don't know about you all. I think she follows me somehow.
Have you heard from Nita, Roland?
Oh, no, I have not. They have not called me.
She's going to, take out her cell phone, and she's just going to text Nate, not call in case, they're still busy, but she's just going to give me an update when you can. Time-wise, yeah, no, you guys will still be there, so I would say, when Greg or Nate gets to leave, that's probably when he would be able to see it. So Claudia is just kind of rubbing her neck, habitually.
Why do you like Lily, Ike?
Because she seems really cool and she was nice. Why do you dislike her so much?
I don't dislike her as much as just I don't like her either. I don't understand why the I suppose positive trend towards trust there.
I know what it's like to be an outsider. You don't have to fear someone just because you don't know them that amazingly. You can be friendly and nice.
Yeah. No, they're not. But I appreciate your positivity.
I like me too, thanks.
Okay.
Well, Kim, I don't want to keep you waiting. I don't think that the need for patching the boys up is still going to be an issue this evening. I'm hoping they'll return soon and this will all be sorted.
Oh, okay. Sure, I can find something else to do today. Sure.
About that time, you do actually get your text from Jocelyn that gives you a back alley, that you recognize the street and where it is, and it's, just a couple blocks away from the Mount Sinai Hospital.
Okay. I'm going to go meet Felix.
As she leaves, I'll say kind of, here, let me walk you out, okay?
Ike, are you
Okay.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Why? I just thought it would be nice to walk her out.
Fair enough. I'll see you if and when you return.
Yeah, I'll see you later.
So as the two of you leave, you almost see her just slump back on the couch and kind of paw towards her laptop.
Okay.
So Ike is walking Kim out.
Hey, Doc, I figured I'd walk you wherever you're going,
Thank you. I'm waiting. I'm going to go back to the hospital for a second. I'm waiting on a text. I'm supposed to meet someone, but, sure. I suppose I could use the company.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything tonight, and trying to make some new friends. He kind of looks a little shy,
Do you live with them?
Yeah, for now, I don't really have anywhere to go, or know anybody, or have any money.
Ah. I'm sorry.
I do just fine. Doesn't bother me. Other
okay.
than, being sort of the third wheel to their life.
I'm a Malkavian. I'm the third wheel to everyone's life.
Oh, come on, these country people are fun.
Okay.
So he's just gonna walk with you, not really like bugging you too much, just kind of following you and taking in everything.
What was your personal interest in what Nate and Roland were doing there?
Oh, I don't steal drugs, so I had no interest. I just like Nate, so I figured I'd tag along with him, and he was nice enough to bring me along, and then, I don't know, I'm supposed to be stealing drugs or something. So, whatever.
Okay. I like Nate too, so I guess we have that in common.
Figured why not diversify? Maybe tonight we can go out and, I don't know, assassinate someone.
Okay. Wait, what?
I was joking. Just
Sure, yeah, right, okay.
Just trying to help out if you need any help.
Well, right now I am going to go speak with the Tremere, so I don't know how much you know about them.
Not really. I don't know much about Tremere. I don't know any of them, so...
I know one. I know a Tremere.
Well, I would like to meet him, if that's okay.
Oh, you haven't met him yet? The Canadian one?
No, I haven't. I've just met you and Nate and Roland. And I met Mechanic Guy for a little bit. He was fun to talk to. I don't think he likes me.
Angel?
Yeah, Mechanic Guy. He didn't. He seemed weird.
Angel is, I suppose, no weirder than I am. No, Angel's fine. He's a good guy.
Oh, I believe you. He just didn't seem to like me too much.
Well, what did you say to him? Because that's a good indicator.
Well, I let him talk about cars for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's a very that's a good way to get on his good side.
But unless he was talking about...
Did you tell him to shut up? Because that's a real quick way to get on his bad side.
No, we had to run. I had to go talk about, I think, Nate about something, but no, until I asked about cars, he seemed really weird. Like he'd never seen a kid before.
Oh.
I mean, I get weird looks from people all the time, but that was extra weird.
Angel has a certain set of principles, I guess, to him that I tend to agree with in most cases. But I think he's just uncomfortable around kindred who seem very, very young. He's not sure how to act around him, so you'll have to forgive him for that.
No worries. I get it all the time. It's better than when people are outright mean to me, so...
He is also very adaptable, though. If you prove to be a good friend to him, he will learn and put things aside.
Yeah, we don't have much to talk about, so that's why I'm trying to get out a little bit, make some more friends.
Sure. Well, I don't know if you can necessarily come along on the business I have with the Tremere. They're very secretive people. I'm sure you know that. But
I didn't, but that's okay. I'll still be happy to walk you wherever you're going.
They're, as far as I can understand, they're wizards, and they're very secretive about their wizardliness.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, and that's coming from a Malkavian, so you know it's weird.
Alright, speaking of Angel, let's pop back in and see what he's up to. So, he was just told by his school Melissa that he had Donatello Giovanni come to his company and initiate a potential contract to get 2 cars fixed up. And Angel wanted to think about it for a while.
Alright, so what I'm going to be doing while I'm thinking about it is, just because I'm paranoid about these 2 Toreador, I'm going to go and change the security settings on all of my keypads and stuff and let my ghouls know, hey, the code is such and such now instead of such and such, because those 2 guys that I brought into the shop the other day, they had me a little bit on edge.
All right, so you are in your back office, fixing up all of that stuff.
Well, I
between
mean,
your-
yeah, just making sure all the new keypads are adjusted, which probably could be done from my personal computer.
Okay, so you're in your back office, taking care of all of that. And while you're back there, you actually hear a knock on the door, sort of a like, you know, rapping kind of one.
Come in.
So the door opens, and it is actually Sean and Noelle, and they lean in smiling. Hey, Angel, how's it going?
It's good.
So,
What's going on?
Sean sort of staggers in, and Noelle follows behind him. Let me change the picture, which I think has been in Dominic this whole time. So I'll put up Noelle for now, and we'll switch to Sean later. But this is Noelle. So the 2 of them wander in, and Noelle, like, she's still, like, you know, fiddling on her phone a little bit, like she tends to do. And Sean has got a big coat on. He's just got his pockets stuck in his hands. I was wondering if you had any extra free time tonight, give us another spin around town.
I'm gonna, like, kind of look up and be like, honestly, I just might have gotten a huge contract, so I should probably get on that. Like, want to make sure I don't lose it to Platinum Auto Works.
Oh yeah, no, totally. We understand. I mean, we were passing by. I just figured we'd stop in and say hi. We still haven't really gotten to know anyone else in the city.
Yeah.
But yeah. So and Noelle, like, looks over him, looks back. You didn't have any more trouble with those howlers, did you?
Nah, I ain't seen them since.
That's good. Yeah, Sean says. We were get a little paranoid after the other night, hearing that out back.
Incidentally, while they are there, like, when I first see them, I'm going to pull out my phone, and I'm going to, like, you know, just like I'm conducting business, I'm going to text Crid and ask him to subtly come over to the address of the auto shop and don't make himself known just yet.
Okay. Are you sending these 2 off then? Because, you know, the Cloisters is going to be a little far away.
Sorry, what?
Are you sending... do you want Sean and Noelle to stay? Because the Cloisters is a little further away. It'll take them, like, a little while.
The Cloister?
Cloisters Museum, where the Nosferatu warrants are underneath.
Well, yeah. Okay. The idea is I'm gonna keep them here for a little bit.
Okay.
You know, just kind of talk with them, be polite. But I, in theory, would like Crid to follow them and see where they go to.
Got it. All right. So you know, kind of continue your conversation a little bit. They even though you said you were busy, they still you know, start heading a little closer, and you know, look like they're, you know, just trying to hang out. And so Sean asks, so there's a big contract. What are you gonna be working on? What models?
I mean, I think that I probably got information from Mel about what cars I would actually be working on. So I'm not gonna lie about that. I'm not a great liar, so I'm gonna be completely honest and say yes. This model car, and this model car feels like he got him in an auction not too long ago, and
Sean's,
from what I can tell, this guy's fairly well off.
Sean's eyebrows are gonna go up, and he recognizes the car and sounds really excited. Noelle kind of rolls her eyes because boys in your cars. So as you continue, you know, keeping them somewhat occupied for a little while, Crid got back to you right away and said he could be by in about 15 minutes. So you keep them all, you know, nice and busy, and he texts you when he's behind your shop.
All right. And I'll respond that I'm gonna send 2 people away here pretty quickly. I would like to know where they go.
So he just responds with a, like, Roger in the text.
Yeah, so I'll kind of come to a somewhat natural stopping point in this conversation and say, but I think I should probably call this guy and make sure, so I'm gonna have to let you go. Definitely stop by tomorrow, though.
And Sean just, like, you know, like this. You got it, Chief. And he and Noel sort of spin around and head out of the office. And unbeknownst to them, Crid will be following behind. You know, he's a proper Nosferatu, so he's got his obfuscate, and that's, you know, sort of the jobs he's used to doing. So he begins trailing them. They do get in their car, but he texts you about a couple minutes later, you know, got in car, but I have license, will continue to track.
THX.
Okay, thanks, bye. Alright.
And then, after I'm done with that, I was planning on, like, my goals know, hey, keep an eye out for those two, and I should probably call this Geo. Out of curiosity, this is an out-of-character question.
Yep.
What were the Giovannis up to during the war?
The Giovanni, yes, they actually did help. Right, okay, so they, in particular, this is the biggest thing they did, was that they own JFK, and I mean that in the mafia sense. They own JFK airport. So what they did was they made travel into New York through that, as well as a couple other lines, easier for Cam to sneak in, and even more so for supplies and things to not be necessarily written down on paper, you know, things that they needed for the war. So that was their major contribution. They did a few other things here and there, but that's what they mainly did.
I probably have no hesitation. Like, you know, like once I'm like, yeah, but they did that. All right, yeah, I'm definitely gonna call them.
Yes, the war actually had almost everybody join in because with the independents, more so offers of money and favors and things like that, but to a certain degree they also had no loyalties to the Sabbats, so they were like, if the Camarilla want to give us this to help them with this war effort, sure, why not? So it was like, you know, just neutral agreements.
Yeah. All right. But they weren't actively opposed to the Camarilla, and that's kind of what matters to me.
No. They have similar to the Settites, and yeah, so similar to the Settites, it's more like, you know, as long as you leave us to our territory that's already been here forever, we won't have any problems.
All right. So yeah, I'll give them a call.
All right, so you call the number, and after it rings for a little bit while, it's actually sort of a young woman's voice that answers. She's got a very sweet, like, sort of soft voice. She says, "Hello."
Yeah, hi. Mr. Giovanni left me this number to talk to him about his two new cars.
Oh yes, of course. My name's Rosalina. What was yours?
It's Angel Vargas.
Nice to meet you. Yes, so Donatello had told me to expect a call about this. He is looking to get these cars fixed up. He is looking for it to be done in a orderly time. He's got a show he was hoping to present them at, but yeah, so is there...
That's the name of my game.
Good. Do you have any questions about the job, or...
Nah, not really. I mean, I'm happy to do it.
Fair enough. I think Donatello will be free later. He'll actually come along with one of his associates and bring them both over. He wanted to meet you in person.
Very much understood. I thought he might.
Of course. He likes to, you know, meet the people he's working with.
All right, well, and so I'll set up a time with her.
All right. To go along with chronology a bit, but we're gonna get back with it's gonna be Kim and Ike were walking to meet Felix to see about this ritual he's telling Kim about. So you guys have been having a conversation, unless you had anything else you really wanted to cover before you meet up with Felix. we'll just, cut to downtime.
That's fine. That was good. Just chit chat, unless she has any actual questions.
Alright, we can even downtime some of that more later if you want to discuss some stuff. But you guys finally arrive down the alleyway where Jocelyn had texted Kim explaining where Felix would meet them. And Felix was much closer, so I would imagine by now you were already there.
Oh, didn't she say I couldn't follow her to meet the wizard?
Oh, did you?
No, I said that you could come along and meet him at least.
Okay.
I said I didn't
Oh,
know
that's right. You said I
included in
couldn't
the
go on
business.
the mission. Yeah.
I didn't know if you'd be included in the actual business itself, but that you could come along to meet him.
Did Felix find a rat?
You just have to call for one, and I'm going to say that part of the ritual definitely works out fine.
Okay. So he has a friendly, happy rat at the moment. Did he give him a slice of pizza?
Yes, you had you had a slice of pizza because you really weren't sure how close it might come up to you, if it might be skittish. So you went and bought a piece of pizza at a store, at a location, and you're standing in an alleyway waiting for a rat to come to you.
It was actually one of those plates that it's 2 plates to hold the whole pizza. It's one of those.
Proper New York pizza.
Proper for any New York rat. So Felix will be there, maybe tempting a rat with a pizza slice. Fan art, go now. And he might have his back to them, so they might have the first word.
Felix?
Hi. Hello. Bonjour. He puts down
Hi.
the pizza. Puts down the pizza. Crouches back up.
You have a pizza?
You have a friend.
Yeah, no, this is Ike.
Hi, I'm Ike.
Bonjour, Ike. How you doing?
Sorry, I was just walking the doctor out after she left, and I thought I'd tag along. I hope I didn't impose or anything.
No, it's fine with me. Yeah, well, doctor is...
Yes, he is.
Just so we don't misunderstand each other, because I know there's a slight language barrier in what I hear. Everything...
Yes, he's kindred.
Oh, okay, there we go. That's what I want.
Sorry, I left my fangs at home.
Okay. Sorry, that's with the Tremere, that's not a joke. So, hello, are you wanting to participate in the watching of me try to get a rat?
Oh,
You're catching a rat?
Yes. I thought they liked pizza, I thought they liked cheese, and it was close by.
that's a fair point. The doc didn't tell me what was happening. She just said she let me meet you because we didn't meet yet.
Oh, no.
But I don't mind joining him. That's fine with me.
I don't have any opinion with it, really. Well, I mean, the doctor brought you along, so I guess you're somewhat cool and hip with her. So
I see that. Look at the doctor, sort of just give that up to you kind of face.
If you want to tag along and he's okay with it, by all means.
Thanks, guys. It's awesome.
Storyteller, could it be a very convenient moment that a rat has decided that he does like the pizza now that Felix has stopped trying to poke it with the face?
Yes, You're still like holding it limply, and the rat is actually just like reaching up and nibbling at the end of it now. So the rat's seeming very friendly and just sticking near you.
Oh, I got it. I think I got it. He would gently put down a slice of pizza, and he would fish in his pocket for, which will just be my vape. We'll say that is the, that has liquid in it, of alcohol, and kind of approach it and see if he can kind of get it to dribble it with his 0 in animal key.
Well, yeah, no, the ritual doesn't call for you to have animal, but you studied how to do this and you got some good successes on it. So at first the rat like kind of wiggles back, seems a little bit concerned about what you're handing it, but after a little bit while you're still like maintaining, you know, the ritual in mind, it comes up and it does actually drink from the small bit of alcohol.
Excellent. Felix will of course act just like he has no idea what he's doing, but he has some idea what he's doing. Trying to play around with it, and he's like, I believe that is the start of it.
Like, it's gonna pull on the doc's lab coat. Is he getting that rat drunk? I don't know. Okay.
I was just thinking, I was like, does he have the auspice? No, he doesn't have the auspice. I heard that. So he'll actually kind of sit down next to the pizza slice and where he's actually giving the rat, and he's gonna spend some time there. So you guys are welcome to talk to him, talk back and forth. It takes some minutes, unless you want to awkwardly sit there.
It would take at least 15 minutes of Felix slowly feeding the alcohol. It's like just tiny amounts, like over this long period of time, and sort of speaking quietly with the rat and kind of making the connection.
Okay, so I suppose should we explain to Ike what is going on while you're catching rats or whatever it is you're doing, getting them drunk?
Yes, sure. So Ike, I'm just gonna have my awkward attention. Ike, have you heard anything about in the sewers?
I mean, I know what a sewer is, but I haven't. Is there something special?
I had a cadaver turn up in my morgue that had been weirdly changed. It was missing an arm, and there was absolutely no way that the way that it had lost its appendage had been natural whatsoever. So, as far as we can tell, Felix talked to the spirit of the thing, and he said that it happened down in the sewers. So we were trying to figure out what the hell did it, and if it's a problem for us.
Oh. But the rat, though?
Well, what better to send into the sewer besides ourselves, where we could be hurt, than a rat?
That is happy on pizza and slightly buzzed.
But you are purposely getting that rat drunk.
I don't know how this...
No, I'm not drunk. Buzzed. I think that's the key term. It's something. It's something I think
nice
this generation uses.
I think the amount you're giving it is probably the volume of its liver, but okay.
He doesn't know. It's 0 dots in medicine. Or edible.
Oh god.
Continue.
He would continue from there, but yes. What was your name?
Ike.
Ike. Yes. It was very excitedly said. That's right. Ike. Yeah. There's something I want to investigate in these sewers, and it's not wise for any of us to go down there, from everything I've heard. So we're gonna see what this gives us, but more than likely nothing. I had a very detailed lectured about how the sewers are very big. Didn't know that. From Jocelyn, a friend of mine, and a very big explaining how something about internet maps does not give you sewers.
I mean, that makes sense.
Does it?
But, well, you don't generally map sewers out, I guess. You should probably try architect plans or city planning charts. That probably would help more. But how can you talk to do you talk to rats? Is like the rat going to tell you what happened?
Yes, this rat specifically is someone who frequents the Rebel's Kiss. He's a friend with a Roland. Yeah, you ever heard of him?
Yeah, he tried to get me to steal drugs, so I know Roland.
Oh, I didn't actually know you knew Roland. Oh, I was just making it up. No, I can't speak to that. That'd just be silly. Wait, no, something I actually speak to. Never mind. Take that one back. But I cannot speak to rats. This is the first time I have seen them, and they're huge. They're very big.
It is a big rat.
So, go ahead. Okay. I was ready to complete the ritual by then.
Yeah,
please,
we've
yeah,
done at this
Okay.
point. So
Yeah,
you
go ahead.
can so you would explain that it's basically done. You would make the command towards the rat of what it's supposed to be going to look for, and then to return to you when it finds it, or if it like by sunrise at least it has to return to you and see and let you know what it's seen or hasn't.
Yes. So it's going to return relatively safe so that I can get back home and not have to run across New York at top speeds. And I guess the rat runs off. Well, that's the easy part. Hopefully.
Here we'll hop back over with Nate and Roland for chat, see what they're doing after they've left Dominic's place, and they realize that they've now got an official drop set up for the same night, and we'll get a text essentially of where the location will be.
So we're in the car now.
Yes.
Well, that was interesting, to say the least.
Didn't go as terribly as it could have.
We are still alive, so I guess that is true.
So what did you think about the whole experience?
I thought it was odd that there were only 2 gods for a man who is of such high a standing. I wonder how high up in the chain he is.
Did you count the number of dolls he had? I'm sure he has them bound in such a way they would immediately come to his aid as well.
The dolls were pretty much sexy women, no one of a threatening.
Oh no, there were young men with nice ripped abs and everything.
Nice ripped abs, the most threatening. All right.
8 packs and all.
Wait,
I haven't feared a human in quite a long time, but I don't know. I feel. I wonder if there's more than what we got to see.
That I can almost guarantee you.
Would I have noticed how the blood was different in the cup?
It would have looked and smelled different to you. If you didn't specifically pick up that it was kindred, it would have still been off to you.
What was in the cup?
I have absolutely no idea. I just know the Sabbat has all kinds of twisted rituals that involve blood as a catalyst for them, and I frankly do not trust anything that man was putting before me. And it was off.
Well, tonight, do you still, I don't know, do you want to go on with the plan of acquiring our package?
That was still remains not particularly a high priority for me. I was here mainly to, one, see what you saw on the Setites and make sure that you came back alive. I wouldn't want you walking into a house like that alone.
Understood. So then for tonight at the drop-off, are you coming or are you going back home?
I can't help you there. I've done enough as I can. I've done more than I'm comfortable with already at this point.
I understand. As far as your payment goes, then I don't exactly know how to pay you.
I would say at this point I don't particularly deserve any of that money then, do I?
I wouldn't go that far, Nate, but maybe not as much as we originally discussed.
Give my portion to Clem then.
He'll give you a look and a smile, and I appreciate that.
She apparently will have more use for it than I will soon, so...
Let's hope not, but that could be the case. And I'll drive Nate. Actually, I guess there is a little bit that we probably need to talk about. I don't know. I hope none of this comes back on to you. I hope you understand that, Nate.
I feel better hearing you say it out loud.
I'm just saying, I don't know how often you use this disguise, but if anything were to happen tonight, they might be looking for you.
Greg is getting retired. Maybe not permanently, but for a while.
I appreciate that. Not appreciate. That's the wrong thing to say. I'm sorry. Yes, that sounds good. I'm glad.
Alright, so Roland is going to, it sounds like, be dropping Nate back off towards Claudia's.
Yeah.
Alright, so...
Sorry, really quick. While he's getting out of the car, we'll look back at Roland. Now, anytime you do want to firebomb those fuckers, I'm there with you.
I appreciate it. And Roland will actually reach into his coat and hand Nate, it's like a letter, like a sealed letter that says Clem on the front of it. If things don't go well tonight, please just bring this to Rebel's Kiss and give it to Sunshine and Clementine.
Absolutely.
I'll see you around, Nate.
Good luck.
Broom, and I'll drive off.
Vroom. Nice. Alright, so Nate has been dropped off at the apartment. Let's go back to Angel real quick. So you had been chatting with Rosalina over the telephone, setting up a meeting later that evening for you to meet Donatello Giovanni. It probably would have been about so this was already pretty later-ish, maybe 1 or 2 when you made that phone call. So she set up the appointment for another hour later, about 3 a.m.
Alright.
Around that time, he would pull up in a nice Rolls Royce, not driving himself, of course. So if you're still in your back office, one of your ghouls would have let you know. But as you come out to see him, he steps out. He's got just that nice, leather, not leather, just like a nice Italian suit with a knee-length coat. He's got longer hair that goes down to about his shoulders, but it's like slicked back. He has a small beard. It's like going a little white here. Obviously very sort of Italian looking man. He's got a decent height and just has like a good strength to his build. And another man steps out of the back of the car with him. He looks like just a stereotypical thug. Like he's got like scars and stuff from back when he was human, if he is kindred. Can't be sure, but he does look a little paler, and he's just got like real like large biceps and everything. He's only wearing like a black muscle shirt and jeans, and he has that sort of attitude of just looking around, eyeing everything up. But Donatello himself is just sort of like brushing off his jacket and looking around.
To be fair, I might just a little bit like puff up my stature just a little bit when I see this guy.
Fair enough. So, little bit of a blood buff?
Not even like a blood buff, just like, maybe standing in a slouch and then being like, oh, right.
Got it. Alright, so, maybe DeMarcus was the one that came and grabbed you, so he walks out with you. Your ghoul, DeMarcus, nice, tall, attractive black dude, leads you out towards the front and says, Mr. Giovanni, this is Angel. So, Donatello just walks straight up and reaches his hand out. He's got like gold rings on, but nothing like overly gaudy and showy. Just traditional style of wearing some rings they've got like even like kind of Roman Catholic symbols on them.
Yeah. I'll offer my hand to shake his hand.
Angel, it's nice to meet you. Is there somewhere we can talk about this contract?
Oh, absolutely. My shop, or my office is right here.
Wonderful.
This.
So he and his seemingly like bodyguard follow you to the back. Donatello just sort of like eyes up the shop and nods as he walks. So as you get into the back, he smiles and says, "It's a little more humble than a couple places I've used before, but you come with a high recommendation from the prince."
Well, I appreciate it, but I do specialize in more unique jobs.
So I've heard. For these 2 cars, I'm actually not looking for anything specific. I am just looking for the refurbished job. But there's something I was also interested in speaking to you about while I'm here.
Absolutely, not a problem. If I haven't already, I'm gonna offer him a seat.
So he sits down, and the bodyguard sort of just leans against the door. Donatello, adjusts his coat a little bit and looks around again. We're secure here, correct?
Yeah. This is a very secure location. My office, and also the building, and all of my employees out there. They're in the know, to say.
Fair enough. So what I wanted to speak to you about was a job you did recently, and he sort of puts his elbows on the side of the chair and puts his fingers together. The prince, from what I heard, had you set up a car with a cooling system in the back for some blood transfer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, I heard that you'd been able to take care of it in almost no time, and it was to her satisfaction. I was curious about possibly having a similar job taken care of.
Absolutely. Any specific requirements?
Well, it would be more akin to, say, a hearse, Lincoln hearse. I need the entire back set up with such a cooler system, not just for a few blood bags.
And you trying to make it subtle looking, or
Preferably, of course, if you need to take up more space in the back for the system, that would be fine. It just needs to be able to carry about a few hundred pounds, well, not a few hundred, a couple hundred pounds worth of cargo.
so like I'm gonna be straightforward. So like one person, two.
One at least, two would be preferable.
I should be able to do something like that.
Excellent. What is your going rate on that?
Numbers.
I love that. So he nods and says, yes, that is absolutely doable. Of course, we would prefer that this stay as a confidential contract.
Oh, absolutely. Especially jobs of this caliber, I try and keep as under the books as possible.
He nods. Yes, that is.
In fact, I got a completely different shop that I do this kind of work in case someone tries to come into my shop.
Impressive. As I said, the prince did give you a high recommendation for these sorts of jobs. I figured I might as well throw you a couple simple ones with the refurbish as well.
Much appreciated.
Donatello, just goes to say something else, and at that moment, you hear, similar to the other nights, howling out the back of your shop, except this time it sounds like there's two things howling.
The first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to activate my hearing-based auspex and listen for sounds that should not fit into a howl, such as the frequency of like electronic production, or I'm trying to see if this is a recording or something that is not a werewolf trying to imitate the sound of a werewolf.
And as you do that, so your power as you use it, Donatello's still talking, you're probably just staring ahead while doing your focus. As you do that, it doesn't come off as anything synthetic, but your cell phone goes off with a text.
Alright, I will, one moment, and I'll pull up my phone.
It is Crid. He said, sorry, took me a bit, but they roundabout. They're parked down the street, but the girl is standing near the fence out back.
What's she doing?
So it takes him a second, but he says, nothing that I can tell, but I just heard a sound like two wolves. And Donatello notices you starting to look a little more distracted with the text messages, and just pauses. Is there something wrong? You have other business you need to attend to?
Sorry, that the howling wolves always kind of freak me out, and one of my ghouls was texting me about it.
Yes, that is strange. We're in the middle of the city. Does that happen around this area normally?
No, it's not a usual thing.
He looks a bit confused.
That's why my ghoul texted me about it. He's checking it out. It was just he saw some wolves out there in the middle of the city. I know it's weird, right?
He just sort of adjusts his code again. Fair enough. Well, I believe I can have my secretary send you the rest of the details. You do seem a bit preoccupied, so he stands up and reaches out a hand to shake yours.
Of course, that would not affect the quality of my work.
No, I understand. Like I said, the prince gave you a high recommendation, so he reaches out to shake your hand.
Yeah, I'll stand up.
The bodyguard is glaring at you, but he looks a little thick in the skull, so I wouldn't necessarily take it as anything too specific, just his attitude. Donatello grabs him, just puts his hand firmly on his shoulder, and so it makes a motion let's go.
Alright.
So another moment later, he says that the girl has joined the guy back in the car, and he's going to try to get closer.
All right.
After a little while, about a few minutes, you get a text message with a video.
I'll pop it open.
So, as it like loads up, you see that it's like from around a bit of a corner, and it's aimed at the car. You can just kind of basically see Sean's head in there, and the audio is pretty muffled because they were inside their car. But like as you try to like listen closely to what they were saying, and Crit even sends you another text message with like a couple bits that he heard a bit more clearly.
Yeah. And of course, I'll use Auspex, hearing Auspex to like filter out as much of the sound as I can. But
yeah. You hear them arguing, and so specifically, it sounds like Noelle's yelling at Sean, asking him what exactly this deal is going to get them. Why are they focused so hard on this one guy? And you hear him yell at her, some just like muffled, like, just shut up, like, I've got this under control. And the one thing that he texts you, with, like, he actually even adds a little, like, confused face emoticon, and he says he called her a fucking gypsy.
Huh. Yeah, I'll like, and of course I probably know because they're one of the main, Ravnos are one of the main clans. Like I could probably make that connection, right? Or at least assume that connection.
Yeah.
All right. And I will thank him.
Are you gonna thank him in a way of like, that's good, you can go?
No. I'm trying to figure out. Ideally, like, this is good. This is information I was just trying to find out where they're staying. But this is even better than I wanted.
Yep. I wanted to check something real quick.
And you know what? Because it seems like he cares, I'll actually respond with, No, I'm not going to respond with that because the Nosferatu are known for their use of technology, so I don't want to just say something that insults a Nosferatu over technology.
Yeah. I would actually like you to roll a frenzy difficulty though, because this is going to be considered being harassed. Because you're now picking up, you're thinking this howling might be related to these two, some way or another. You're gonna have to roll against 6 though, because it's 4 plus 2.
I'm sorry, resay that sentence, you kind of broke up.
Sorry, it's gonna be difficulty 6 because it's 4 for being harassed plus 2 for your flaw. Your short fuse flaw.
And what is a frenzy roll?
It is, self-control.
Just self-control, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
Wow.
Nice. Alright, so Angel is in his back office. He's getting these texts from Crid that these two are obviously trying to stake him out a bit and mess with him, and he's got this slight suspicion now that they aren't Toreador, at least one of them isn't, and it's starting to make his blood boil a little bit, but he keeps his composure, he keeps himself calm, he realizes there's nothing to be gained if he runs out there right now and tries to start something. So he just takes a moment, gathers himself, and starts to think, what do I do next?
Sorry, what was that last sentence? I got a little bit distracted.
You take a breath and you calm down and you think, what do I do next? What do I want to do about this? I've got these two following me. What's my next step?
Yeah. I don't know. Right now, just gaining information is probably the best thing I can do, to be honest.
Yep. Alright, well, we'll step away from that real quick, and let's have Nate enter the apartment to follow up with him getting home.
Alright.
So you enter the apartment, and you see Claudia kind of half laid out on the couch, like her legs like swung over though. She's got her laptop on her stomach and open, but she's just kind of like staring at the ceiling. She hears the door open and sits up immediately. Nate, is everything all right?
Yeah. Everything went relatively smoothly. He'll give a brief explanation of going in, meeting with the guy, the blood dolls, and then mention how he left and Roland went off to finish the drug deal. Actually, let me back up and so yeah, he would give the brief overview of what it was like in the house and talk about the blood deals and how the weird occult symbolism and all of that, and how just weirded out he was the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Getting back into character. However, I did leave Roland, and he seemed fairly intent on finishing what he started, but I'm no longer implicated in it.
So she, sits herself back up in the couch a bit better and just takes a breath, closes her laptop, puts it on the table. Well, I'm glad you're, at least it seems, out of the deal. If he's going to do anything with this, it'll be on him. Hopefully that doesn't mean anything for the rest of Manhattan. Yeah. She looks, pretty, just, like, completely worn out.
I do have a question to ask about something.
To me or Claudia?
No, that was in character, sorry.
Okay.
While we were there, the Setites offered us a strange drink. It was viscous, darker blood of sorts. And...
You didn't drink any, did you?
No, I'm seen enough Sabbat shit to know not to drink random things handed to you.
Good. I can't say for sure without seeing it or smelling it myself, but that sounds exactly like kindred blood.
I am definitely glad I took none of it then.
Yes, more than likely it was belonged to someone there. Anyway, that all sounds fine. Do you remember the Malkavian you told me about meeting in the woods?
Lily, yeah.
Yes. You didn't happen to mention anything to this woman about where you lived or even the area?
I'm pretty sure the only piece of personal information I gave her was looking for a meaning of our conversation. And other than that, I'm not even sure I gave her my name. I might have, but...
Okay, fair enough. Apparently, she gave Kim a visit while she was babysitting the apartment.
Is Kim left, or
Yes.
her and I?
Nope.
Okay, so they have left on us. Okay. Here, Lily came here.
Yes, that's what Kim explained to me. Kim didn't even seem to know exactly why she was here. All she could say was, it seems that Lily's taken an interest in her and she's been following her around.
Are you worried about this? I mean, or random... Nate seems very uneasy about that situation.
Yes, I'm not sure how to take it. probably going to pull the security tapes and just take a quick look and see exactly what happened.
I mean, should we approach the Malks with this and ask them, one of them, maybe they're Primogen, if they know who this woman is and if she's dangerous, if we should be alarmed?
That might be a good idea. I can definitely speak to Carter, who, out of character, is the Malkavian Primogen. I can speak to Carter, see if he knows anything about this person, but it is unfortunate that Malkavians are probably the least organized clan around, even considering the gangrel. But yes, that might actually be the best step to do. So she actually just like immediately like grabs her laptop again, opens it up, and like, you know, you can see her logging into the camnet and going through the different systems to get into access to message people and make contact with other kindred who are a part of the camnet. Let's hop back to Felix, Kim, and Ike, and then we will see Roland in a little while. Alright, so you are all still in the alleyway. Felix has basically just completed the ritual and sent the rat off.
Yes.
Okay, so you don't know how long it might take for this rat to find anything worth reporting, if it'll come back or anything like that.
It's a corruption.
What exactly are you trying to do with this rat? What are you trying to learn?
Well, I can see through its eyes after it returns. So I'm hoping whatever might be down there who made your friend into, I guess our friends, but made the poor man into a candlestick. I was hoping that maybe get some insight into something like that.
Beg pardon, I'm sorry, I didn't hear half of that.
Oh, am I garbled?
Yeah, a little bit, sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good. So he reiterate. I wanted to have the rat take a look at things and hope for it to figure out what happened to Mr. Candlestick down there.
Do you think it might be dangerous?
I would have to say probably yes.
Okay.
It melted off an arm. If that's not dangerous, I don't know what else.
Would you mind if I called someone?
Who? Sure. Who?
Angel.
Who?
The Toreador with the car fixation? Have you not met him? Okay, well, you will in a second. And she calls Angel.
Hello?
Hey, it's... I am working on something with Felix, the Canadian Tremere guy, and Ike. And he's not entirely sure if it's going to be dangerous or not, and he doesn't know what to do for it. Something went on in the sewers. There was a cadaver that turned up in the morgue, horribly changed. Its arm was missing, and it was very much supernatural in origin. And we don't know what's going on. Felix is sending some kind of something into the sewer to take care of it, or look. And we're not sure if it will be able to see us, come back at us, or what. And so I was wondering if you could possibly come and back us up at all. I'm not sure if we'll need it or not. I don't want to waste your time.
What time is it, Spira? Like, is this like soon after my G.F. Giovanni meeting?
Yeah,
or?
I would say you were still like in the office, like just as you were kind of texting Crid.
So then, yeah, I'll respond to, yeah, give me a second. I'll head over there. Just don't do anything stupid until I get there, right?
I never do anything stupid. Crazy,
That's
but not stupid.
That's fair. So yeah, I will actually get on my bike and I will head over there once I've kind of solved the problems with Crid.
Are you gonna like say like just keep an eye for now?
What's that? Oh yeah, exactly. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. Are you telling anything to your ghouls? Or are you keeping
Yeah,
this
I
down
will
low for
actually.
now?
I'm definitely letting them know. So those two vampires that came in not too long ago. Just be careful. This might sound weird, but one of them might be able to fuck with your mind. You know, make illusions and shit.
Who are you saying it to? I just want to know how I respond.
I mean, probably gonna start off with DeMarcus because I've already had the discussions with him with
I was thinking that, so I was gonna say he just shakes his head and just like, man, the fuck are you getting yourself into?
Oh, this one I don't take blame for. All the other shit, yeah, it's totally me. This one wasn't me.
Fair enough.
And I'm gonna head out real quick. Looks like my doctor buddy might be getting himself in a little bit of trouble.
Roland, who had dropped off Nate at Claudia's apartment, and after either driving for a little more or waiting, he would eventually get a text message from a number. He would recognize it as Jeremy, who Dominic had set up the exchange, and said that the drop would be off at such and such street. It's actually around about the same place that they met initially.
All right. I will. Yep, I'll drive there and I'll get a nice parking spot that kind of gives me a view of that area. Well, are they saying it's going to be like nowish, or what are they saying?
They said like another hour, so this will be, I think, heading closer to somewhere between 3 and 4.
Yep. All right. I'll drive up, find a parking spot, and see if I can just get a vantage point and check everything out.
Yep. So you arrive. It's like I said, it's about the same street. It's a more quiet, dead-end area of the city around Lower Manhattan. And after a while, you see the same limo you saw before pull up and park.
All right. Yeah, I'll get out and I'll stand next to my car.
Okay. So after you get out, you see Jeremy slip out of the back seat of the limo and just stands there, sort of nods at you.
And I'll motion him, do a little head nod to get him to come and bring it over here. The package.
So he looks in the back seat and he goes around to the back of the limo and clicks a button on a key that he has, and it opens the trunk. And he takes out 2 suitcases, I feel like.
No, it'd be 1 suitcase.
Yeah, that's what I was just trying to think of. Yeah, so he takes out the 1 suitcase and starts walking towards you. Shut up! Oh,
No,
white girl from the
no.
suburbs.
No, I was just like, I shouldn't know this information. But yeah, go for it.
I was thinking one, but I was like, I don't know, maybe like extra packaging.
No, yeah, 1 would be probably better so they don't like move around. Anyways.
So he starts heading towards your car with the suitcase, and you see the other individual that had been in the truck, a tall black man. You never got his name yet, but he just steps out of the back seat and stands by the limo.
Gotcha. How far is our distance from limo to car?
They parked a little ahead because they were parking like right across from that alley, so he's got a good 6 yards, I'd say, from where you parked.
Oh, we're only 6 yards away from each other?
You should have told me.
No,
You would be parked further back, but they told you like the street and around the alley. They didn't say like exactly the spot.
Yeah, if we can make it a little. Yeah, no, it's fine. 6 yards.
Oh, we could do 10.
10 is really close. But yeah, that's good. Okay, so he walks forward.
Yes, so he's just walking towards you with the package.
What did we ever do with the suitcase and money from
Claudia
the
has it.
previous episode? Claudia has it. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I will walk around to my trunk and pop it open and stand behind it. So like the view of unnamed black man can't really see me, and they kind of know that I'm getting or they think I'm getting the money out of the trunk.
Okay.
But I'm really getting an axe.
Alright, so Jeremy continues walking around your car. I will need you to do a dexterity and stealth roll against 7 to make sure you don't look too suspicious about
Sure.
exactly what you're doing. Alright, it's a fail, but not a botch, so,
sure.
you know, he was already a little suspicious anyway. So, he is just sort of, like, keeping close eye on you as he comes around the car. And I'm gonna say that you do actually see, like, his hand slip a little bit, like, kind of behind his jacket, his free hand.
Behind his jacket?
Yeah, well, like, you know, just, like,
No,
just
no,
behind
yep.
his back a bit.
I was just wondering if it was in front or behind. How close are we now?
He's about, like, passenger side door.
Oh, so he's close.
Mm-hmm.
But he only has one free hand. The other hand has a briefcase?
Yeah. So it's actually his right hand has the briefcase, his left hand is the one that went behind his back.
Yeah, let's, I'll take the axe and I'll swing at him. Full strength.
Alright, I think we're gonna actually have to do initiation. So...
Alright, and you're gonna have to remind me of initiation. It's
yeah,
been a
I
while.
always forget it. I forget that, because there's a new system. I'm used to the old one. Modi, is it, Dex, wits, something?
What's the roll for?
It's initiation.
Dex plus wits plus 1d10.
Okay, good, because I'm used to the old system. I always forget it.
So it's our dex plus wits plus 1d10?
Whatever the 1d10 roll is.
Okay.
Poor Roland. Alright.
He is not making the rolls.
Yeah, okay. So, Jeremy gets initiation, so you did already tell me your move. You're going to try and basically step side of the trunk with your axe and take your swing?
Correct.
Okay. So, Jeremy is going to use the second power of Serpentis, because he happens to also be a Setite, which is the tongue of the asp. He can actually turn his tongue into an 18-inch snake's tongue that has sort of like a razor effect when it touches skin. So as your arm comes out with the axe, he shoots out his tongue and latches it around your wrist and actually begins feeding from you, which causes a bit of the kiss effect and a tiny bit of horror. So it's both this very confusing, terrible mix of pain, fear, and pleasure.
Okay.
So you would drop your axe.
Can I make a roll to try and hold on to it, like a strength roll, or no?
You can do a willpower roll against 8 to hold on to it.
Man, All right. Does it like
That was a
fly
thing of beauty.
20 feet away? I can't get a single roll.
You drop the axe and you fall completely to the kiss. You just kind of like lose all like control. The other unnamed man has already like come running as soon as he sees this. And he, you know, hits you hard with an elbow to the temple. And between the kiss and that, you're knocked out.
Awesome.
Well, we'll check back in with Roland in a little bit. So we've got, let's see. Let's go back to Nate and Claudia real quick in the apartment. And then we'll check in with our gang that's gathering. So Nate and Claudia have been talking in the apartment, and she explained that Lily had apparently come by. She's not sure what to make of it. She's going to reach out to the Malkavian Primogen Carter, is yet to be named in the game yet. Sorry, Charge. Sorry, fuck twice. So yeah, Nate.
Yep.
That was the end of the conversation. Did you have any other thoughts toward?
Trying to think. Basically talked about Vitae. I guess. So Claudia, is there? What exactly do we know about the sets? The Setites. I again can't. I was really disturbed by the excessiveness of the way this guy flaunted his blood dolls and just the entire operation he had running. Is this... It brings back up too many old memories.
She gives a dry smile, just the kind of like half-cocked, you know. She's still like typing on her laptop in the camnet. She's reaching out to Carter now, and just shakes her head. It's what I told you about before, Nate. The whole thing that they run off of is causing, at worst, corruption, and you know, if it's not disease, it's in the form of actual plague. It's, you know, disease in the form of drug abuse and prostitution. I don't know the full details of it, but it's something that's in their nature. It's something that's almost like a cult habit for them. They are driven to do it, as far as I understand. So everything you told me sounds in line with that. That there's, you know, this guy had actual just blood dolls wandering around, everyone on drugs, and just a hedonistic atmosphere, of course. So as she's just sent a message to Carter, and like she like hit enter on her keyboard. She then switches over and starts pulling up her connection to the apartment, and particularly the apartment building's security, as well as the footage she has just outside in the hallway, and starts, you know, clicking through time points and specifically looking for like earlier into the night, just about before when they left, and starts reviewing it, waiting for your answer.
Sorry, waiting for my answer?
Oh, well, she just told you about the Setites, not answer. Anything you had in reply to that?
No, he just would kind of brood over that, just... Nothing really more to add. I mean, he would visibly have a disdain on his face for their practices.
So, after a little while, she leans into the laptop, and she actually looks like she's squinting, like really confused about something, and you see her like pressing, her keys back and forth, and you can probably see from your vantage point she's going back and forth over some video logs.
Nate would slowly kind of walk over and just be like, looking for Lily?
Well, I was about to.
But...
Are you, actually sitting, looking at it now?
Yeah, he'll have walked over kind of looking at it.
So she, zips back to a time point before everybody had left and just leaves it paused. And you see that where there should have been 4 of you, there's only 3.
And...
You, Kim, and Claudia.
Ike doesn't show.
Nope.
I'm going to... And... Nate's visibly furious. I swear to God, I'm going to find him.
Claudia grabs your shoulder and sort of just grips it tightly. Just calm down.
Do you have an explanation for that?
I have the same explanation that you have.
Have you ever met another kindred that doesn't show up? That's not one of them?
No, not me personally. I've heard of it, but generally no.
I'm so sorry I brought him home. I'm sorry I brought him into your house.
So she leans against the couch and puts her arm over it and kind of vaguely clicks play and pause again, just kind of haphazardly, and just sort of shakes her head, not really saying anything.
Where is he now?
He left when Kim left. He said he was gonna walk her out. I don't know where he is now.
Nate will get out his phone upon hearing that and text her, "Hey," or just, "Hey, is Ike with you?" ?
With that, let us hop over with our little gang out in the city, where Angel would have probably arrived just about this time.
Beautiful. So I mean, it's a bike. It's not hard to park or find parking. I'll pull up to him and, so what the fuck have you guys gotten yourselves into?
We're not sure, which is why I called you.
All right, let's do this.
Well, I think we're waiting on your mouse to talk to you, right, Felix?
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know he was with us right now.
I'm sorry, you're waiting on your mouse to talk to you? The fuck?
I think it's
A rat.
actually a rat. Yes, that's what the doctor said. It was
Yes,
a rat.
that is some pizza.
I think
mean,
it was too big
that's-
for a mouse.
That's not really that much better.
Is it not?
Just let him.
His
do
name
his-
is Candlestick.
I just have the most confused look on my face right now.
Angel, it's okay. Just let him do his Tremere thing.
Well, I haven't named it, but I guess we have now. I guess it has a name now. Well, you see, are you caught up with the whole sewer thing?
I told him about the cadaver, yes. However, it would probably be beneficial for you to explain it as well.
Okay. Going a little further into it, whatever is down in the sewers is able to both rend flesh and spirit. So I thought it a bad idea for anyone to go and to attempt to explore it. So I found some alternate routes, including Candlestick being sent down there to investigate and look into what we might see. I heard that the sewers are really big, so there's a lot of investigating, a lot of directions to go, but I guess I might thin it down if we were able to figure it out from the Nosferatu.
Nah, Nosferatu aren't in the, they don't do sewers anymore.
I know, they're not down there anymore. Isn't that interesting?
I mean, I'm more interested by the thing that's apparently eating people and also souls. I didn't know that was a thing you could do.
Well, I don't know if it specifically ate the soul, but it was a pretty torn up soul for very recent wraiths. So, expert look at it. It may have affected the soul, whether in the body before or after, but I cannot jump to any conclusions there.
All right, whatever. Just let's do this.
This is what we're doing. I'm waiting for Candlestick.
I very much appreciate you coming out for this. I'm not sure if it will actually go wrong or not, so I figured be on the safe side.
It's better safe than sorry.
Pretty much.
Oh,
have you met Ike? She says, like, pointing to the 13.
Yeah, I've met Ike. We talked about cars for a little while.
Hey, Mr. Mechanic, how are you?
Good. Yourself?
I'm doing pretty good tonight. Did you bring a fancy car with you?
Nah, it's just my bike. Trying to get out of here quick.
Okay, I thought you were going to show us a sports car. Maybe next time.
Yeah.
May I roll an awareness plus perception?
Yes, you can.
Alright.
You can roll perception rolls whenever any of you feel like. Doesn't mean it'll mean anything, but...
Okay. Let's pull that up, buddy.
Perception awareness.
Okay.
So if I have no awareness, what DC is that?
It'll just be perception then, because if you're... You could
What's
roll
the difficulty?
you could roll alertness, but the idea is that alertness is more mundane things. Awareness is going to be
Supernatural.
yeah. And if you don't
so
have
is
it, then
7?
no, it's
6.
just 6. It's just a matter of the fact that you only have your attributes.
Oh Jesus. 1, 4, 10, 1. The dice hate me today, man.
So it would be 1 success if it is anything normal aware, and 2 successes if anything wraith.
Sorry, say that again?
1 success for anything normally aware, which that's can pronounce anymore. And
Yeah.
2 for wraith.
Okay.
Wow. So apparently that would, in theory, be 3 successes for me.
At least kind of tell me what you're thinking you're trying to feel, or is it general?
For me,
Yeah. Well, all of you. I think Felix, Angel, and Kim rolled.
yes. I'm going for the more spiritual side.
And Angel.
Looking for anything, it's
Anything.
honestly like despite my great roll, if I'm looking for anything, I should be looking for the real world. Like, you know, I should be rolling an alertness thing just to listen for anything shenanigan going on.
Mm-hmm. All right, so for Angel, you don't get anything too strong, anything directional. You just get like maybe someone walking by is kindred, something that gives you a little like tingle down the street, and then also standing by the sewer, something gives you like just the tiniest hint of heebie-jeebies, but nothing specific. And then almost similar for Felix, but not about the kindred on the streets, just like you're really focused on, is there something in the sewers, and you just get a little bit of a chill, but like it's not giving you much detail about like what it is or if the thing is near.
So I'm going to go take a real quick peek.
What was that?
I'm going to go take a real quick peek.
Okay.
Which he said out aloud to everybody.
So you're gonna
Like,
like
you
look
gonna
down
go
a
look in
sewer
there?
grate?
Oh, he's going to climb down the sewer grate.
Okay.
Maybe that's not the greatest decision. Like, are we waiting for your mouse?
Yes. But that might have been my mouse.
What?
I felt something I want to investigate.
Okay.
I feel like I felt something from the sewers too, but it didn't seem like no mouse.
It's a very special mouse. It's named Candlestick.
I'm sure it is, but really don't think going into a place that has, what was it, flesh-melting, soul-eating monsters, maybe not the greatest decision until we know what's going on down there.
Conversely, though, how are we supposed to know who's going on down there? Because effectively, we're the team that's dealing with it, as sad as that is.
I thought his mouse was... Okay, what exactly is his mouse doing? Like, why are we trusting a mouse? And
I
how do
think
we
just
know
watching
that
it
it's
to
gonna-
look, because whatever is down there wouldn't think to cause a mouse necessarily harm. So kind of just hoping to catch it doing something. Or
But, like,
even
what is
just
the mouse
in
doing?
general.
Like what? Like I could grab a
know, it might be
puppy and throw
fucking
it
out
down
of the
there. It
mouse
doesn't
for
mean
all
it's
I
gonna
know.
do anything for me.
He's gonna pull the doctor's robe again next to her like a child. See, I told you you'd get me into something fun tonight. Not stealing drugs, we're killing monsters.
At this point, Kim would have gotten a text from Nate.
Should we pause? No.
Carry on. I should thought of this.
Like what specifically is like? I don't know. I could grab a random animal and put him down in the sewers. It doesn't mean anything. Like what does this mouse have that a random animal doesn't have?
I can explain, Angel. So I can see through the mouse's eye. It's a rat. I can see through the rat's eyes.
That's creepy as fuck. But like cool.
That's what I said.
I did think it creepy, but I just thought it was mostly cool. But okay, I'll accept that. So if that's my rat, I would like to take a look. Just a curious look. It's a big sewer. It's not like whatever this is going to be everywhere. I just want to see if I can feel whatever we just felt there a little better. Just a little.
All right, let me go down first then.
Why would you go down first?
Because if something's down there, I know how to fucking like, I can stab it, for instance, because I'm good at like killing shit. Because I'm not about to let you go down alone.
Storyteller, how big is the actual sewer?
New York sewers? Pretty extensive.
What I mean is that manhole in the actual, because sometimes sewers are really small, like
Oh, the one that's
Felix
nearby. No, the one
small.
that's nearby is like size for a person to go down. So you guys would be fine.
So you'll be able to stab it.
I mean, that's kind of the idea. That's why Kim called me down here.
A little bit.
But at least,
Angel knows how to
keep
fight.
it occupied for long enough for you to get away and then run away afterward.
I can watch.
If you insist
To be
to
honest, I
go
kinda
down
do.
there to stab anything,
I'm not going down there to stab something. I'm going down there to make sure that if something's down there, you can get away.
that's very noble of you.
Cause if I can keep it occupied for long enough, I'm really fast. I could probably get away myself.
All right. Sure, I'll let you down first, and then I'll go down.
Okay.
And we'll leave the other two topside.
I will sigh very loudly and start going down the sewers.
Perfect. Is Kim? Is your texting on Kim? Is that Kim actually texting?
Yes.
Okay. I want a perception awareness roll that, Miss Storyteller.
Alright. Go ahead.
Well, do I even need to I see she's texting, right?
No, you can see she's texting. I was asking if you were like trying to even like
Yeah, I'd
stealthy
like to see who she's texting.
Oh, okay. Give me more of a dex stealth move. So you like get behind her without her noticing, and you can take a peek.
Wow.
Hey Doc, who are you talking to?
Nate.
Oh, did you make it home okay?
Yeah, he was just wondering where you were since you weren't there. I told him you were with me.
Oh, that's cool. Did he need something?
Nope, he just was concerned as to where you went, that's all.
Oh, okay. I really need to get myself a cell phone.
I can get you one if you need a cell phone. They're kind of...
That would be really nice. That's super cool.
It's kind of necessary for every kindred to have one. Felix, by the way, do you have a cell phone?
What?
Have you been using Jocelyn's?
Yes.
I can get you a cell phone.
I had one, but I think I left it with someone else. It was in my other jacket. And she wandered off with it.
Alright, real quick, I want to pause here with you guys, and we're going to have Roland wake up, tied nice and tight to a chair, back in the second story of Dominic's domain house, and he has just had a stake removed from his chest.
How painful is that?
It hurts.
It's like one lethal.
It's pretty bad. You were full up on blood, so you can heal up fast. It takes turns, but you can, like, your body's just gonna, like, almost autopilot start healing itself.
Gotcha. When I open my eyes, do I see anyone?
Yes.
Who do I see?
Sorry. So you see Dominic again, still sitting in that nice chair of his. He's still got, like, kind of his hair and his blood dolls around. It's pretty much the same scene, although Jeremy and the other unnamed are standing at his side instead of any of his pretties. So he's just sort of smirking at you, very much like kind of in the picture. And it's just like, Roland Jacobs, I thought we had a deal.
Yes. Well, it seemed like things went a little bit sideways, didn't it?
It seems so.
I'll kind of give a little shimmy in the chair. Like how? Like what am I
You're
bound
tight.
with?
You're bound. Like rope, but like at all four limbs and around your chest.
So I can't like flex out of it?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm assuming you kept me alive for some reason.
Oh, absolutely. We're not so barbaric as to, say, kill a potential enemy when, you know, it might be better to have you work with us. Or for us.
Roland kind of looks around. I'm listening.
Well, I do think your exact attempt at stealing drugs from us was a little naive, not necessarily as well thought out as you might have thought it might have been. But I admire your moxie. You seem to know what you're doing when it comes to the drug trade, as far as we've talked. But, yes, I'm afraid if we are going to work together, I will need you a bit more under my thumb.
What exactly do you want me to do?
As you were saying that, you see nice, pretty redhead walk back over to that big wardrobe and open the doors, and she pours another glass from that carafe of blood. And she sort of like walks over to where you are, and so do both of the gentlemen. Well, we can always discuss that later, but first things first. And the two of them basically roughhouse, hold your head back and your mouth open, and she pours the glass down your throat. It is, as far as you remember, I don't think you've ever drank kindred blood since your embrace, but that like is something you don't really forget, so you do recognize it suddenly, like when you drank from your sire the first time. It is far more potent, intoxicating, pleasurable than just human blood. However, this has some other strange effect on you that you've just immediate, almost like feeling of addiction, that you want more of it.
My eyes will grow kind of wide, and I'll just like blink a little bit and look up at him. What was that?
He laughs slightly. That was my blood. Like all kindred blood, it's quite appetizing to other kindred, and especially humans, but mine has some other sort of strange quality to it. Don't know why, but it does. System-wise, you're addicted to his blood right now. More so than just first level blood bond. He has addictive blood.
Dope.
So you just, like, right now want more of it, and that won't go away anytime soon.
Perfect. All right. That seems odd, but we could have probably have figured something out without this. What exactly do you want of me?
So the two buddies, Jeremy and the other, actually start undoing the ropes without any concern. And Dominic doesn't even seem, concerned about what you might do next. He says, I want you to sell drugs for me. I want you to sell them in Manhattan, just like you planned. Except I want you to do it for me and not after stealing from me. Trust me, you'll get plenty of profit out of it.
If we were just going to work together, then I don't understand. Yes. I don't exactly have room to argue.
Good. You're free to go. My men will even take you home.
Roland kind of just looks around, kind of flabbergasted, just like, I don't... Yeah. Does he have some kind of, like, after drinking the blood, like, he can't, like, disobey this guy?
You have first level blood bonds, so you can, there's just like this slight, inkling almost of like, yeah, okay, it's more of an agreeable attitude towards the person, but you could fight it without even rolling. I just want you to think of that more in character.
Right. Yes, that the original drop-off place will be fine. Then,
My men have the drugs in the car. They'll just give it to you wherever you decide to be dropped off.
Thank you, Dom.
You're welcome. And he smiles.
I'll, yep. They could drop me off at, I guess, my car or whatever. That works.
So they drop you off and hand you off the briefcase, nice and sweetly.
Perfect. When they drive away, I will... I mean, I'm trying to think if I even know about blood bonds yet. Like, if I've encountered it in the story.
I think you've had a couple people explain what it is. Do you understand the idea of feeding off of kindred is kind of a bad idea because you can end up being bonded to them as they would have, like, phrased it?
Roland will kind of look up at, like, Marty's apartment, not my Nate's apartment, and think, like, should I go in there and, like, discuss what happened, or just go home? And then he'll eventually walk in or walk up to Nate's apartment.
Okay. Before we do that scene exactly, I need to know, should I know anything that's happening between Nate and Kim in their texts? Okay.
For the viewers, just to kind of catch them up,
Yeah.
it was basically just what we'd already established. Hey, where's Ike? Oh, nothing. And then just checking in on it and just being like, hey, do you need anything? And Kim's like, I'm not sure, but I'll let you know. So the moment Nate hasn't gone anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, Kim basically said, hey, Nate, I'm with Angel and Felix, and Ike is with me, and if something goes wrong, I'll let you know. That's essentially that entire conversation.
Okay, so we're about the time to wrap up the game. I just want to know, with Angel, Felix, Kim, and Ike, who are with this open manhole about to traverse down there, do you want to, like, clarify anything more for this game? Because that's where we're going to pick you up otherwise.
No. I do have some more Tremere tricks because guess what? I'm Tremere. But I will save that for this.
Alright, sounds good to me. Anybody else in the group?
I just want to stab it.
Ike is watching, super interested. Like, hell yeah, I want to go down the sewer and do this. He looks eager.
Alright, anything from Kim?
She's basically just like, okay, I'm gonna do this now and absolutely forget that Lily ever happened to me today. That sounds like a great idea.
Alright, then let's wrap up the last few minutes of the game with Roland arriving at Claudia's apartment.
I'll knock on the door.
One thing to mention is Nate would have taken this time to revert his facial features to Nate, because there's no reason to be in Gregan.
I was gonna ask, but yeah, okay, so good. Good to know for sure.
Yep. And at the knock of the door, I'm sure Claudia will just give him that look like, well, answer it, and he'll walk over and answer the door. Roland, good to see you.
Nate, good to see you too.
He kind of looks around and notices, I'm assuming, nobody else in the hallway, and we should probably talk inside.
Yes, and Roland looks a little like confused and shooken up and just very like, I don't know, someone who thought that they were probably going to die and then ended up surviving it, but then also some shit happens. Like he just doesn't look right.
What happened? How did you're alive? So things go well?
Not exactly. What happens when you drink another kindred's blood?
Claudia visibly just sort of snaps up a bit. What?
It begins establishing a blood bond where you... How to phrase this? You become more and more bonded to them, more almost... Nate glances at Claudia, trying to find his words. I'm not sure, but they gain power over you would be the easiest way to say it. It becomes harder to turn against them. It's used a lot of times as a safety measure to ensure loyalty or other things. Why?
Is there any way to stop it? To reverse it?
Like any other substance, going cold turkey always works.
I tried to fight them and do the original plan, and it didn't work. They dragged me back to his apartment or mansion house, and he made me drink his blood.
That's what was in that vial?
Yes.
Nate will, again, kind of glance at Claudia.
She has fallen back on the couch, grabbed the pillow that was behind her, and just gently draped it over her face.
like a I'm just done kind of.
Yeah,
just like...
tonight is over.
But he did give me the briefcase of drugs, and he let me go. But I don't want this. I don't like the feeling of his blood inside of me.
Of course not. Everyone wants to own their own destiny and not be controlled by anyone.
Sorry, I unplugged my headphones. Say it again.
Sorry.
Oh, he goes, of course not. Everyone wants to control their own destiny and not be owned by anyone. However, this was one sip. It takes multiple, 3 to get really bound to them. You're still basically your own. You're just... Roland, what I think we should do is... Why? He handed you the drugs. What did he want you to do with them?
He wants me to work for him. I still get to keep plenty of money, but he is my boss now.
He'll again look back at Claudia. We can't let this stand.
She, drops the pillow and sits up again and says, "No, this is... Well, at least there was no dead bodies, or ashed bodies tonight, so that's a win, I suppose. Roland, look, you're part of my clan, and while I still think the way you handle this was completely wrong, idiotic, whatever else, You're a part of my clan and you're in trouble. I will do what I can to help you and to make sure that the Setites are not moving further into Manhattan, which is what it sounds like their plan is now.
And what do you plan on doing?
She glances up at the clock like she had a couple times this evening and sees that it's, heading really close to 4. Still like, a couple, maybe at most 3 hours before sunrise. Just like, this time of night, I can't even think of what to do next. I've already got a couple other questions I need answered. I've reached out to a couple other members of the Primogen to see about some of the recent goings-on. And Roland, if you could perhaps come back tomorrow night, I will have a better answer for you.
That is fine. Nate, if I could have that letter back.
He'll just nod and pull it out of his vest pocket and hand it to you.
He'll take it and just crumple it back into his... He's just upset with himself for being such a fuck up. Yes, I'll come back tomorrow and just inform me of what you plan on doing. Nate, thank you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And he'll just kind of sulk out, get in his car, and drive back.
Hashtag sad Bruja.
Sad Bruja.
Status Bruja.
Yes!
Sad Bruja's back.
It finally happened.
It's no head candy.
Alright, unless Nate has anything more to say, like we can still wrap up this night a bit more downtime or early next game, but I think that's a good place to leave it. Alright, so that'll be it for this week's episode of New York by Night. Just a reminder, everybody that's still watching, we will have Demon this Friday at 9:30 p.m. EST, and on Sunday, starting about 6:30 p.m. EST, I'll start playing Bloodlines, the video game. So if you want to come back for more nonsense from our group, check out Friday, and I will be acting like an idiot on Sundays. So,
Also,
yes.
I stream on Wednesday nights at
Yes.
like 9 p.m. My tablet and stylus permitting. I draw art of this game, the Demon game, and actually your games if you would like. Send me your descriptions of characters and NPCs and all that kind of stuff at my email at elvishdame@gmail.com, and I will draw them on stream for you at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays.
Yep, and even if you just show up and she has free time, she'll take her requests while she's playing.
Oh, totally.